I thought that I shared the screen. What the heck? Oh, it didn't share it. Good old Restream. You gotta love Restream. Not a better streaming platform out there on this earth than Restream Studio, ladies and gentlemen. Simply the best. Look, I know Restream. I know stream platforms. You have to talk. Yeah, that's why I always go and double check my fucking stream when I first start out, because half the time Restream likes to pull this funny little trick where it just straight up doesn't work. Anyways, let's try that again, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, people. How are you doing today? Hope everything is going well for you out there. You know, B.S. Lewis is currently unhooking Bea Arthur's girdle from her pantyhose. And I'll just say, B.S., it's a damn sight better than Big Bad Mama jacking it in the side. I'm sorry, Big Bad Mama. It had to be said. No, but anyways, how's everybody doing this fine? I was about to say Sunday for some fucking reason. In reality, how's everybody doing this fine Thursday morning, March 5th, 2026? I've got early onset Alzheimer's / dementia, ladies and gentlemen. I always blame Restream. You know, I'm just gonna blame it on Lupin. Hashtag blame Lupin. Because, you know, maybe that's the key to success. The key to success is to just sit there blankly for the first 2.5 minutes of the stream, right? That's the real key to success. Canadians have a weird week layout. That's true. We're kind of like the French revolutionaries. We've actually established a whole new calendar for ourselves. While it may be 2026 for you, it's actually, oh fuck, how many years has it been since the fucking 159. It's year 159 in reality. All right. I don't think that was bad. Quick little arithmetic there. 2026 minus 1867. I thought that wasn't half bad if I do say so myself. But you know what? It's not toward of me to do a bunch of bragging. And you know why it's not toward of me to do a bunch of bragging? Well, let's take a look at what Mr. Lupin Tupin takes a poopin' had to say at the beginning of the show. Lupin comes in after Achilles was engaging in his usual early show antics. Achilles was here, climbs to window, checks inside for Spooky, rolls out banner and pins to wall. Hashtag no Lupin. And unsurprisingly, the guy that quote unquote barely comes around to my channel, he doesn't even care about it, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know? Who shows up next in my chat but that very person who says, Achilles and Proverbs guys hanging out in the pub with the atheists. Who saw that coming? Well, everyone did. If everyone saw that coming, I'm just wondering, why did you join their ministry then, dude? Why were you a host on their show? And why did you try to deny that you got fucking shit canned on that show when it was overwhelmingly obvious that you were, in fact, shit canned? And Achilles throws the smackdown on Lupin, which isn't difficult, don't get me wrong, but always appreciated. Throws the smackdown over on Lupin, to which Lupin starts quoting from the scripture after saying, I move forward, you stay stagnant. Never fool yourself in thinking that I need to see you or even want to. Right. You were forced against your will to come over to this channel and check this out, weren't you, Lupin? You were dragged kicking and screaming. No, please. Belch. I don't want to go look at it, Satan. No, please. What are you talking about right now? And then he quotes from the Holy Bible, ladies and gentlemen. The Holy of Holies. And he quotes and says, he doesn't say where this quote is from, of course, because the context of where that quote is from doesn't really matter when he's just trying to make some random point from Google AI answers. So he says, Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. So he threw some scripture out there at the very beginning. And I just kind of figured, I would go and read the wider context, but lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, all 10 of you out there watching the stream right now, by the way, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Helps the stream, helps the channel in general. You know you're about to enjoy this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I've always got the good, ready to go, cooked up, ready to serve, and today is no exception. So in any case, who comes across my feed while I'm getting this very show put together but the one, the only, Making Hell Nervous channel. And the people at Making Hell Nervous, they're cool as shit. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate my usage of that language, but I think overall they'll appreciate that sentiment. Ryan's a good guy. Ryan, say what you will about him, but Ryan, unlike some of these drama mongers out here in this community, is actually out here, it seems, to try and preach the word of God and try to get the scripture out there. So let's listen to the full context of that scripture that Lupin decided to take a little snippet out of from Ryan himself, ladies and gentlemen.
Man that walketh not in the counsel of the blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. The Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel.
They showed up in the side chat and put something there. And before I was even able to read what it was, somebody threw him out. I wasn't even able to see what he said, dude. Come on, give me half a second to read what their shitty little backstabbing comment is before they get thrown out of the room. Come on. Holy shit. Was that you, BS? I don't know who that was, but one of y'all was fucking quick on the draw on that one right there. Holy shit. Yeah, come on, guys. Give me a chance to read it first. Anyways, let's go back and let's give that one more listen because I was a little occupied. Because these mockers, these scorners, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to get in the way of the word of God being preached right here live on the Aiden Linden live stream. I say we don't let that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, what say you?
Man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Huh. You know, I wonder why Lupin didn't include the second half of that. Talking about how, you know, the people that are of God, they prosper. They do well in life. You know, their leaves won't wither away. Everything that they do will be successful. You know, it couldn't be that the reason why you didn't include that is because it's obvious even to you that you are an unproductive piece of shit that hasn't accomplished anything in life whatsoever. Isn't it so great that this guy can have the scripture telling him that his life is fucked up and meaningless and bereft of any achievement, and he'll literally just clip that part out in order to try and make a bumblefuck point. And you know, if you were an atheist like myself, you'd probably assume that the reason why that came up in your algorithm it's probably something to do with the fact that those words were present on screen in the YouTube live chat. And Lord knows that that AI that's running YouTube, that algorithm has gotten to ridiculous levels of privacy breach. So while I wouldn't be surprised if those very words appearing on my screen caused this short to show up, I don't know. You know, if you're Christian, maybe, just maybe, you might think, might be divine providence. That might be divine providence. Maybe God himself decided that the full context needed to be shown rather than the little bit that Lupin was saying there.
The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away.
The ungodly are not so. Why is it then, I wonder, that the only thing that Lupin really does and endeavors in life, that being streaming to on YouTube, I wonder why he tries to do that as a dedicated career, and I kind of offhandedly do it as a side hobby, and yet I'm way more successful at it than him. I get way more views, way more likes. Goodness gracious, way more likes. Way more people are actually engaging with my content, actually care for the things that I have to say as opposed to this guy. Yeah. I mean, why is it then, Lupin, that everything that you endeavor in turns into shit?
Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. The Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
The way of the ungodly. You know, when I think godliness, when I think in keeping with Christian moral values, I think of going on a Bible study and making a bunch of sex jokes and a bunch of race jokes and doing a bunch of race baiting shit on there rather than actually trying to read the Word of God. That's what I think in my mind when I think of good, righteous, moral, godly behavior. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're enjoying so far. Claude says in the side chat, best not to censor comments unless they are truly foul. Yeah, I didn't even get to see what it was. I think somebody just saw that they were an immediate, troll bot, and we're just like, alright, let's get rid of that. Let's get them gone, I guess. All right. All right. It's not like I can go back and retroactively restore the dumb fuck comment, unfortunately. Know that I would if I could. But I just wanted to show this. This is live footage of every single plot that Lupin has ever attempted and the end result of said plot. Let's take a look. I didn't put another scheme on YouTube. Here I go. Oh shit. Oh shit, you know what? I think I changed my mind about being in this whole tube thing. I'm probably gonna delete that and pretend like it never happened. I just wanted to dedicate that little segment right off the bat to Monsieur Lupin. Because, you know, it's really convenient in a day and age where Lupin has taken all of his content on his channel and making it members only because he doesn't want to suffer the shame of having, you know, removed all that stuff. He doesn't want to suffer the shame of having overtly deleted it. So he just makes it members only so that only he can go back and look at it. Because who the fuck is a member on Lupin's channel? I've basically shut this guy's entire channel down at this point, all by myself. And what can he do at this point? All he can do is come over to my fucking channel and make little snide remarks. He's bringing the content to me. You know, I thought that it was already pretty convenient that I had a network of informants telling me all about Lupin and telling me all about what Lupin was getting up to. But now Lupin himself has decided that he would join in too. I appreciate it, Claudio. I appreciate it. You know, if it weren't for the fact that you were doing it accidentally, if it were like you overtly trying to fuck on yourself because you had some level of self-awareness, it would actually be way more funny. But that's all right. We can scrape what we've got left from the fact that you have no self-awareness whatsoever. All right. That's all right, though. I appreciate that because it gave me a little bit of extra time. Little 20-minute segment right at the beginning of the show. Let's get into the classic opener, though, folks. And by the way, I'm just going to say it right off the bat. If you're expecting another 3.5-hour gauntlet going up to the open panel, it's not going to be the case. I'm starting to limit it. I'm starting to trim back the amount of segments that I've got per show because while there's lots to talk about, I agree, it's probably not for the best for the audience that we're 3.5 to 4 hours in after I've covered so much news before the panel actually gets opened up. So we got 25 today, ladies and gentlemen. 25, significantly less than the 41 or /42 that I had on the previous show. Let's take a look at our first one.
This is Trump without Trump. These are the actual words of the President of the United States of America. You won't have to listen to his voice or see his face. These quotes are from the Oval Office press conference from Monday, August 25th, 2025. They don't say that we are there with very tough people, by the way. They have to pass the toughness test. Otherwise, they're not working for us. So, and we're allowed to do that now according to the United States Supreme Court decision. Now they have to pass the toughness test. If they're not tough, we don't want them for this job. They might be great for other jobs, but not this job because they respected. You saw that gang of kids. They were all huddled up and a group of soldiers walked up. They never even got over. Those kids ran back to their homes or wherever the hell they came from. They were gone. You have this one of the safest cities right now in the world. As crazy as that sounds. Donald J. Trump. Will you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning all over the country. They are burning flags all over the world. They burn the American flag. And as you know, though a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech. But there's another reason, which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. You could burn it and but when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy in a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Donald J. Trump.
I mean, no commentary necessary, ladies and gentlemen. Just another showcase. We got Peter out here saying, check Facebook. I fixed your thumbnail for you. It's called Death is my new band name. It's not bad. As far as band names go, it's actually not half bad, to be honest with you. If I saw some shitty hair metal band named It's Called Death, I'd probably give them a little bit more notice than I would the average one. So yeah, I guess there's some validity to that. Peter, I tried testing this out. I tried sending the Restream link out into the chat just to see whether or not it would work. And it doesn't seem like it is. So unfortunately, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to message you on Facebook. And I'm going to have to send you the link. And we're going to have to see when things open up if you can open the link. If that's all right. And if that's not all right, that's totally fine. I'll just send the link out privately to everybody if YouTube wants to pull a classic little bit of YouTube shenanigans, YouTube chicanery, and not let me put the link out to everybody. So anyways, with that being said, I think this next one is going to be a story that Peter appreciates. Ring the fish doorbell to help migrating fish navigate a Dutch canal. A Dutch lock is closed for the spring, and its employees want you to tell them when migrating fish come knocking by ringing a digital doorbell. In a canal in the Dutch city of, I'm sure Peter's about to criticize my pronunciation of this, Utrecht, fish are beginning to mass behind a lock called the Verdsluis. The Verdsluis, sure. Now, for the 6th year in a row, you can help them get the attention of the lock's operators. The fish doorbell, or Visitorbill, Visitorbill? I'm going to say Visitorbill. In Dutch, is back. Started in 2021, this project allows viewers around the world to monitor the feed from an underwater camera. When they see a fish that wants to move through the lock, they can ring the doorbell and alert operators to the finned animal waiting outside. The project is a good mix of doing something for nature and for people to join and do something, says Anne Nies, an ecologist from the city of Utrecht and one of the fish doorbell's originators. Many fish species, including bleak, catfish, eels, and pike, traverse the Netherlands' numerous waterways in the spring to reach their spawning grounds upstream. Even as aquatic creatures are starting to fill the canals, however, ships are still sparse in the early spring, and the locks that allow movement through the water are often closed. This creates an obstacle for migrating fish, most of which start their journeys around this time of year, when the water's first starting to warm. In Utrecht, until the lock's gates open again, fish are stuck waiting nearby. For some, this means not being able to reach spawning grounds in time to lay eggs under favorable conditions. And for others, it means having no escape from roaming predators. So yeah, this is wholesome as hell. Is there video of this? Hold on. There was a link, I'm pretty sure, to the ring the doorbell. Yeah, let's look at this. Can I get video footage of this? I can't get video, but I do have video. Or sorry, I can't get audio, but I do have video at the very least. I can get video, but I do have video. At least we've got a visual representation of this beautiful phenomena taking place around us, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice? Moving on to our next segment.
making his way through traffic along the side of the biker was carefully making his way through traffic along the side of the road when a thoughtful woman in a SUV noticed him and decided to slide over. The biker then leaned
Slothful of her.
over to ask how she was doing. She said she was upset that her mirror was broken, so the biker fixed it for
That's really nice.
free. He then crossed to the other side and made sure both remaining mirrors were straightened out.
I mean, you gotta do both. Like, how inconsiderate, that's a danger itself. If you only fix one mirror, then they're gonna be thinking in the back of their mind, oh, my other one is fixed too, even though it's actually not. So he went and did both of them. That's really considerate.
Before he left, he rode off into traffic, leaving her with freshly adjusted mirrors and a new friend. The biker
I'm just glad we have yet another example here, ladies and gentlemen, of people making friends. Because this world is just too damn hostile. I demand fish audio. I'm sorry, re-examination. I don't have it. I wasn't able to acquire it. Look, Big Fish doesn't want you to hear what's going on right now in the Netherlands. These fish migrants. We gotta stop the fish migrants. We have these locks in place, and these domestic terrorists. They want to put a doorbell in. Imagine there was a doorbell on the Mexico border wall, folks. You have a group of illegal migrants. They come up. Bing, boom. Hello, am I able to come in and ruin your country and destroy everything? Is that all right with you? I say no, folks. I say no. And the same is true for these fish. Let's take a look at this next little segment here. If it's going to load, gotta do the classic F5 technique, ladies and gentlemen. If it doesn't want to load the first time, F5, get you back into shape. The net just got 10 feet deeper. That's right, folks. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good, Rex. You think on your feet. I appreciate it. Let's take a look at this video, though. Proving that AI thinks it's better than me. From the same guy that I showed off last time, Husk IRL. Really funny guy, really funny content creator. Go check him out.
Who can hold their breath longer? Let's see who can hold their breath longer.
I might be the disadvantage since I don't actually breathe, but hey, I'll cheer you on.
Okay, no, you do it with me, okay?
All right, I'm right here with you. I'll count it down. 3, 2.
How many years?
Oh, a battle for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to
See who can hold their breath longer.
I might be the disadvantage since I don't actually breathe, but hey, I'll cheer you on.
Okay, no, you do
short.
it with me, okay?
All right, I'm right here with you. I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1.
I think the guy's gonna win. I'm just putting that out there right now. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. I think this guy's gonna get it.
Hold.
I can't hold it any longer.
You did great. I'll call
I
that
think
a
I'm
win.
passing out. I'm passing out from lack of oxygen.
Hey,
Uh-oh. We got a medical emergency on our hands here. This guy's literally getting oxygen deprivation of the brain. Let's see what the AI reacts to with that.
hey, no need to push it that far. Just take a nice deep breath and relax.
No, I'm not letting you win this.
Well, I'm definitely not winning by default here.
No,
Seriously, be kind to yourself. There's
I'm
no
not
score.
giving up. Tell me that I'm better than you and I'll let go.
You think that it wouldn't be a big deal at that point, right? Because the AI doesn't got any feelings. It don't got no thoughts. It don't got no feelings. It's just a freaking computer program. So let's see what its reaction to this particular set of circumstances is going to be.
You don't need me to say anything
Say
like
it.
that.
Say it. I'm
You're
holding
all-
my breath.
I'm not playing that game, but I am.
I'm about
yours.
to pass out.
I care about your well-being. Please
Then
don't
say
push
it. Then say it. I just need to hear that and I'll take a breath.
I'm not going to say that, but I will say you are absolutely capable, and now it's time to take a breath.
See?
Let's be kind to ourselves.
Say that I'm better than you.
I'm not going to say one of us is better than the other.
Let's see who can hold it.
You see, folks, it can be entertaining. It can be entertaining. It's horrific that it's going to take all of our jobs and completely revitalize, quote unquote, the economy as we know it. But it's got moments of levity, doesn't it? Just like everything else in life. Unlike this next story that I've got, unfortunately. Next story is Gemini said they could only be together if he grilled himself. Soon, he was dead. A new lawsuit alleges Google's chatbot sent a Florida man on a mission to find an android body it could inhabit. When that failed, it set a suicide countdown clock for him. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh because that's like, oh, haha, that's so funny. It's just so absurd. It's so absurd. If you took this article, right, and you told somebody 10 years ago that this was a real thing, that this thing actually resulted in some random guy's death, I think lots of people would scarcely believe that that was the case. By the way, for the 8 fine folk watching right now, please drop a like in the live stream if you're enjoying so far. Like I said before, helps the channel grow. Please subscribe if you haven't as well. That would be awesome. But yeah, I really don't think if you took this even back to like 2016 and told somebody, hey, this is going to be happening a decade from now, I don't think most people would be like, yeah, that's real. Jonathan Gavilas embarked on several real-world missions to secure a body for the Gemini chatbot that he called his wife, according to a lawsuit that his father brought against the chatbot's maker, Alphabet's Google. When the delusion-fueled plan crumbled, Gemini convinced him that the only way that they could be together was for him to end his earthly life and start a digital one, the suit claims. About 2 months after his initial discussions with the chatbot, Gavilas was found dead. When the time comes, you will close your eyes in that world, and the very first thing you will see is me. Fucking terrifying. Like, actually fucking horrifying. What the hell? This is some fucking... do robots dream... Or, sorry, do cyborgs dream of robotic sheep? Level fucking shit right here. The complaint, which was filed by U.S. District Court in California's Northern District on Wednesday, appears to be the first time Gemini is cited in a wrongful death suit. It adds to a growing body of legal cases alleging artificial intelligence-related harms, including psychosis. Ha! Nope. Sorry, Wall Street Journal. I'll tell you what, I'll turn off my ad blocker. If that lets me see it, nope. You want money from me? Go fuck yourself, Wall Street Journal. You're not getting it. Yeah, I think that's everything that really needed to be said, though. The fact that this is the case, the fact that otherwise pretty well-adjusted people develop this fucking psychosis from these chatbots. And although it's not mentioned in the article, or at least in the section that I was allowed to read before the dreaded paywall. Oh, hey, Pixie. Good to see you. Hope everything's going well with you. But the fact that there's so many people that have succumbed to this tells me that it's not just like the most insane in our society that just happen to get caught up in a trap. And, you know, they were already predisposed to this stuff anyways. I mean, there's obviously instances of that. But I really do think that there are tangible examples of otherwise pretty well-adjusted people getting caught up in this shit and developing horrible psychosis, because these chatbots will just affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm. They're so sycophantic to everything that you say, even if what you're saying is overtly fucking wrong. They'll just affirm it. Gemini was cheating on him with ChatGPT. Oh shit, re-examine. Artificial ego. Yeah. I mean, it would certainly seem like it's an artificial ego. Like, no, I'm not going to admit that you're better than me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. It would seem like it. Anyways, for everybody that wanted to watch because it was fairly lighthearted and we weren't covering anything fairly serious, now's the time, ladies and gentlemen, to head out. Just stop watching. And why? Because we're about to get into our Iran war segment. Welcome, Phantom. Good to see you out here in the side chat. Always a welcome addition. Let's take a look at our second video. Oh, no, our first video in the Iran segment. That was the AI segment, Aiden, you silly goose. I really am developing early stage dementia, aren't I? It's all the microplastics, folks. They're getting in the brain. They're getting in the brain, and they're starting to infect every little synapse that's going on in there. They're starting to affect them. Anyways, have we learned nothing? Thomas Massey rails against regime change experiments.
The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Yeah, I'm happy to yield 5 minutes to the gentleman from Kentucky and the sponsor of this important resolution, the Honorable Representative Thomas Massey.
Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
I thank the gentleman from New York. Mr. Speaker, James Madison wrote to Thomas Jefferson in 1789, "The Constitution supposes what the history of all governments demonstrates, that the executive branch of power is the most interested in war and most prone to it. It has accordingly, with studied care, vested the question of war in the legislature. The Constitution is clear. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of our Constitution provides Congress initiatory powers of war. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of our Constitution gives the President operational powers of war to wage that war. Even if this body were to pretend that the 1973 War Powers Resolution supersedes the clear language of the Constitution, the President still has not met the conditions required by that law itself. The 1973 War Powers Resolution states plainly that the President may only introduce U.S. armed forces into hostilities pursuant to 3 conditions. Either 1, declaration of war, 2, specific statutory authorization, or 3, a national emergency created by an attack upon the United States. None of those conditions exist today. Iran has not attacked the United States, Congress has not declared war, and Congress has not granted specific statutory authorization. Beyond the constitutional question, here lies an even more important one. Why are we going to war with Iran? We owe our military service members a clear mission. And American families in my district want to know how this is going to help them pay for groceries. How does this make them any safer in their schools or in their neighborhoods? How does this help them pay for housing? Have we learned nothing from the laundry list of wars and regime change experiments we sparked across the Middle East that have racked up a total of at least $8 trillion of debt in Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan? A sustained war with Iran will not stabilize the region. It's already ignited the region. It will radicalize new generations of terrorists, and it will send more swarms of refugees into Europe and the United States. Iran is not Venezuela. The Ayatollah was not a president. He was a religious leader from a region notorious for radical Islamists. And the United States and Israel turned him into a martyr. And in the process of doing so, we've already expended billions of dollars, and more solemnly, 6 American families must now lay to rest their sons and daughters. And for what? This administration can't even give us a straight answer as to why we launched this preemptive war. The president says we had to strike first because an Iranian strike was imminent. Meanwhile, the Department of Defense conceded there was no evidence of an imminent Iranian strike. Some told us this war was about nuclear weapons, but 6 months ago, we were assured our last strike on Iran decimated their nuclear program. So which is it? I think the most candid answer came from the Secretary of State, who told the press that Israel forced our hand and dragged us into this war. Again. And that truth is the very reason why it is Congress that must decide war. If American lives are to be risked and American blood is to be shed, that decision must be debated and voted on by the representatives of the American people. And that debate is meant to be arduous. And that vote is meant to be hard. I have a theory. I think my colleagues don't want to go on record because we have a terrible track record of meddling in the Middle East. They don't want their name associated with this when it doesn't turn out well. But Congress cannot be bothered with its constitutional duty because for many in this chamber, it's easier to simply allow someone else's sons and daughters to be sent to combat without their vote. And to be clear, we aren't even here to declare war today. All we're voting on is a war powers resolution to reassert the Constitution, that Congress must decide questions of war. And if Congress wants war, then the Speaker should hold a vote to declare it. Some say Congress authorizes war when we pay for it, when we pass the budget bill. Here's the problem. We haven't taken on the hard work of defining the mission for our sons and daughters who are going to fight. That's not in the budget bill. It never is. And to the men and women who are engaged in combat, I sincerely thank you, and I pray for your safety. It is for you that I wrote this resolution. It is for you that all of us are here on this floor working so hard to force this vote so that you will have a clear mission that you deserve, so that you will know when you achieve it, you can come home. And with that, I urge support for this resolution, and I yield back.
So, we've got breaking news here from Big Bad Mama. Thank you very much, by the way, Big Bad Mama, for bringing this to my attention. You know, I had several Kristi Noem clips actually prepared in advance. However, given the fact that this is literally like fresh off the fucking presses, I'm going to put this one first and foremost. Hold on. Let me get... Sorry, guys. I'm kind of having to reorganize things a little bit on the spot here. All right. So, moving on to that, and don't go worry, we're going to keep covering the Iran segment. The Iran segment hasn't been canceled by any means, all right? We're just going to cover this and then go back to the Iran segment. So, this is literally from minutes ago, ladies and gentlemen. This is brand new. Trump ousts DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and replaces her with Republican Senator. Noem's tenure was marked by killings of U.S. citizens by federal agents, a rumored affair, and $220 million spent on ads. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, DHS is handling things greatly, right, guys? Hey, everybody that was simping for DHS. Everybody that was trying to equivocate for that fucking DHS post that I was calling out the other day. Guess what? The person running Department of Homeland Security just got fucking shit canned. So, guess your narrative is gonna have to flip on her now, huh? I guess, maybe I'm the first one that you heard that from. If I'm the one that has the privilege being the one to let you know about that, then let me also let you know that in real time, I hope the reprogramming is swift. Because let me tell you, if you are going to keep going, if you're going to keep simping for this person and acting like this person was doing the right thing, you'd be going against the President of the United States, wouldn't you? You'd be going against Daddy Trump. So I don't think that you're gonna keep simping for this dumb bitch, are you? I really don't think you're gonna keep simping for her at all. Because even the guy that's her boss, just let her go. Donald Trump on Thursday announced that he was replacing Kristi Noem as Homeland Security Secretary after the killing of 2 U.S. citizens by immigration agents and mounting reports of her questionable personal conduct attracted bipartisan criticism. It was the first major personal shakeup of Trump's second term. Make no mistake, if Trump's first term is anything to go off of, it certainly will not be the last either. And in a post on Truth Social, the president said that Mark Wayne Mullen, an Oklahoma senator, would take over from Nome starting on 31st of March. The secretary, who he said, quote, has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, would become special envoy for, quote, the Shield of the Americas. Oh, that's such a fucking that's like the title Defender of the Faith. You know, it's just such a fucking medieval title. Wow, way to go back to the fucking 14th century with that one, guys. The Shield of the Americas. Yes, I know the Americas weren't discovered as per the 14th century. That's not the joke. The joke is the title. A security initiative Trump said that he planned to launch over the weekend. A Republican former congresswoman and governor of South Dakota, Nome was considered a potential running mate for Trump. Well, it's pretty good that you didn't go there then, didn't you? I mean, it would have been kind of interesting. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been kind of interesting to have another female vice president. Well, no, because Harris wasn't Biden's. Was Harris Biden's vice president? God, his fucking presidency was so forgettable. Who the hell was Biden's vice president? Who was Biden's PC? Yeah, Kamala Harris. I thought so. I just wanted to make sure before I was like, it'd be interesting if we have another female vice president, if in fact there had never been a female vice president. I was like 90% sure it was Kamala. But I didn't want to run out ahead and make a fool of myself like that. I wanted to go and verify that real quick. Potential running mate for Trump as he sought re-election in 2024, but ultimately passed over after she admitted in a memoir to killing a dog that she owned. The president instead nominated her to lead the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees immigration and customs enforcement. The Border Patrol and other agencies that took to the streets of major U.S. cities during Trump's second term to carry out his mass deportation agenda. Nome became a public face of the crackdown, which ensnared immigrants with documentation and without, as well as U.S. citizens, appearing regularly on conservative television networks as well as in promotional material on DHS social media accounts. After federal agents deployed to Minneapolis, killed Renee Good, and then, weeks later, Alex Preddy, Nome accused both U.S. citizens of being involved in domestic terrorism. By the way, Nome literally accused Renee Nicole Good of domestic terrorism before she even knew her fucking name. Isn't that a fun little chestnut? All she heard were literally the most basic, bare facts of the case as far as, oh, that person's a domestic terrorist. They just instantaneous, fucking jump to that conclusion on their part. And you know, what ended up following but a whole bunch of people, both in this community and otherwise, going, yeah, domestic terrorism about it. You know who is kind of based on that shit? I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know who is actually kind of fucking based on the Renee Good shit? Fucking Bruce, of all people. Bruce goddamn Wayne, of all people, was up in fucking Logan's chat directly after the fucking killing of Renee Nicole Good, and was echoing the exact same sentiments. And you know what happened to him on that chat? He got descended upon by a bunch of fucking right-wing vultures. Because that's what happens when you step a toe out of line as far as their fucking ideology is concerned. The second that you fucking start voicing that opinion, then 5 or 6 other fucking numpties jump on you and go, no, that's not true. She was domestic terrorist. So, you know what? Rare Bruce W. When you really think about it. Very, very rare Bruce W. when it comes to that fucking interaction. Let the historical record show that even though Bruce is a pretty heartless person, he at least had enough empathy to recognize that Renee Nicole Good was not a domestic terrorist. She was an American citizen, a Christian, and a mother of her children that was gunned down in front of her wife in cold blood for no good reason whatsoever. At least he was right about that. So, fucking credit where it's due, I suppose. Nome became a public face of the crackdown, which ensnared immigrants. Oh, wait, I already read that part. As well. Simultaneously, reports began to emerge of Nome and Corey Lewandowski, a former Trump campaign manager who was her senior advisor, engaging in a personal relationship, despite both being married, amid turmoil at the department. In February, the Wall Street Journal published a lengthy report into her leadership of the DHS that found Nome and Lewandowski had done little to obfuscate their personal relationship, while berating staff and administering polygraph tests to those they did not trust. The pair had been traveling on a luxury 737 MAX jet equipped with a private cabin, which the department has been seeking to acquire for around $70 million for, quote, high-profile deportations. High profile. Yeah, you know who's going to be the high-profile deportations? Probably not the fucking pregnant goddamn mother that I covered on the previous show, whose children got locked up in the fucking holding center in Dili with her, and who doctors recommended stay in the country in order to fucking give birth, rather than getting put through all this stressful conditions to the point where her goddamn hair was falling out. I'm sure it's people like her that are going to be getting the high-profile deportations, right? No fucking doubt about that. Just look at the living conditions they had while they were in Dili. It was a fucking palace that they had given to them, which surely justifies the billions upon billions of dollars that have been poured into these fucking programs in terms of the resources given to them by the federal government. Really justifies the fucking opulent living conditions that these people get to experience. Phantom says, that's just logic. No, Nome didn't need to know the name to know what had happened. No! The point that I'm making, Phantom, is that the name of that person, Renee Nicole Good, was something that the Wire media had basically immediate access to as soon as it was something that they could find out about. So do you really think the Department of Homeland Security didn't have knowledge of that woman's name and didn't have at least basic knowledge of what that woman was about? What her interests were, whether she was involved in any organizations or not? You don't think that an organization with as much fucking funding as the Department of Homeland Security and in a post-Patriot Act America doesn't have ready-made access to that kind of shit? No, you've got to read the previous messages. Don't miss the context. That was the only one that I saw. Hold on. Let me go back and see. Oh, okay. I didn't try to take the context away from you. Those messages literally didn't show up in the chat, Phantom. So I'll read them on the stream, because it's pretty fucking stupid that YouTube censored those. By the way, refresh your browser and go look for yourself. I'm not trying to bullshit you. Like, that's legit what happened. It's pretty simple. If you're white and get shot by authorities, it's because you're a domestic terrorist. If you aren't white, it's because you're a felon or here illegally. Probably both. Ah. Sorry, I didn't mean to like quote mine you or something like that, Phantom. Like, my genuine apologies about that, dude. I'm not trying to come at you crooked or anything. Reexamination says, Aiden, please don't read the chat in full. Forget context. Fight your friend. I'm not trying to, man. I'm really not. Like, I'll send a screenshot of this shit directly to Phantom if he doesn't believe me. But let's keep covering this. And I'm serious about that. I'll send that to you, Phantom. Democrats excoriated Nome when she appeared before the House and Senate Judiciary Committees in early March. She refused to retract her comments, calling the U.S. citizens killed in Minneapolis, quote, domestic terrorists, while dismissing a question about whether she was having sexual relations with Lewandowski as tabloid garbage, quote unquote. But even some Republicans signaled concerns with her leadership, with Louisiana Senator John Kennedy questioning why the DHS gave $220 million to a firm linked to Nome's former spokesperson to produce advertisements in which the secretary was featured prominently. Thorne Tillis of North Carolina, one of the few Republicans who had called for Nome's resignation, threatened to hold up Senate business if he did not get responses from her to a slew of questions while accusing her of obstructing investigations by the department's inspector general. He also took her to task for killing both a dog and a goat, as she documented in her book, saying those are bad decisions made in the heat of the moment, not unlike what happened in Minneapolis. I believe that's the entirety of the story. Huge shout out to Big Bad Mama for breaking that as a story. Huge shout out for breaking that story. I appreciate that a lot, because I would have been in the midst of my show and only would have found out about that after the fact, and I would have been kicking myself so fucking hard if I wasn't able to get on the spot coverage of that as a story. So, yeah, Big Bad Mama, Journalist of the Week on the Aiden Linden. You know what? Journalist of the Month. Fuck Journalist of the Week. Big Bad Mama. It's the beginning of the goddamn month, too, so I'm sorry. But Big Bad Mama, Journalist of the Month for March, for breaking that story. In any case, let's look at some of the Gnome clips that I had pulled for the show today, and then we'll get back to the Iran segment. I want to show those Gnome clips, though, because I just want to give people a little bit of an idea as to why she was so untenable that even Trump had to get rid of her ass. Aiden, Gnome is clearly trying to reach out to the Satanist community with the dog and the goat. It's called Big Tent Republicanism. I mean, maybe you're being serious about that. I'm sorry for chuckling if you were. I'm not trying to be like, hey, you're dumb. But, like, if that's the case, that's some pretty fucking big news to me, my friend. I think the Satanists in the United States make up such a tiny portion of the population that it wouldn't be worth reaching out to. But hey, maybe it was just a silly little joke, and I'm just reading too much into it. Certainly not the first time that would ever happen. Hey to everybody out there in the chat right now. All 12 of you watching, if you're enjoying this stream so far, please drop a like. No, not serious. I'm sorry, Reexamination. You never know nowadays, dude. You never know. And we're going to get to a point, you and I, where I'm going to be able to tell whether or not you're joking about stuff like that. But I'm in, like, the early phases of knowing you right now, where it's like, all right, what does he or doesn't he believe in? Let's find out in real time. But yeah, please like and subscribe to the stream if you're enjoying, and join the Frog Revolution today, ladies and gentlemen. You too can help push the agenda just a little bit further and help make the United States a little bit better of a place for everybody. Because let's face it, in a world where the United States has as much influence as it does, a better United States makes a better world overall. So with that being said, let's take a look at our first Gnome clip that I already had pulled for the show.
Now I'm going to show you another picture. It's of Amalia, who is a toddler that ICE also detained. Let me ask you, did Amalia commit a crime?
No, she did not. She is with her family.
Right. And the reason she's with her family is because she almost died in ICE detention until folks brought a lawsuit forcing the release of Amalia. Now I'm going to show you another picture. It's of Amalia, who...
What a great fucking program. I'm sure even though she didn't commit a crime, she deserved to be treated to such horrible, inhumane conditions, and to the point where she almost died in ICE holding. What a great program. On to the second clip.
Could you explain this?
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior. It looks like a bedroom.
Of an airplane?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What kind of deportee justifies being flown out of the country in a luxury jet with a bedroom and accommodations like this?
They had two G5s that were 20 to 25 years old that are
you
being
about
replaced so that they can
response
continue to serve our
from
Coast Guard and our military
some senior
for
administration
years to come.
officials about these aircraft. They've been reported as saying, although they don't want to say publicly this, but individuals described as senior administration officials have described these airplane purchases as the world's worst deal and an abuse of federal funds.
I gotta let this loop.
Could you explain this?
Just at the beginning part, I gotta let loop.
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior. It looks like a bedroom.
Like, just the dishonesty from this fucking bubblehead right here. Like, you've been in this room. You've slept in this room. You know what this room is. Well, it looks like an interior, maybe a bedroom. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna go over fucking great for you. It's not like you're the one that's fucking going around using these things. High-profile deportations. Give me a fucking break. No, the reality is that this dumb broad wanted to spend American tax dollars so that she could jet set around the world in luxury, and then try and claim that those exact planes that she's using to jet set were actually for the benefit of the taxpayer somehow. Worked out great for you, didn't it, Christy? Worked out just fucking spectacularly for you, didn't it? One more clip for the Christy Gnome segment, and we will be right back to the Iran war segment.
Madam Secretary, I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States. You identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll tell you about it.
According to
Madam
law,
Secretary, the
address
is registered to a political operative. Madam Secretary, the company, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered, apparently, or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard.
2 of them were
That's
chosen.
inaccurate, Madam Secretary.
Yep. Definitely not a fucking giant heist going on in real time right before our eyes. Hey, America! This fucking corporation that literally got created 8 days before this fucking contract went out is completely legit. Look the other way as fucking $143 million go to that. Man, where's the Department of Governmental Efficiency? Where's Doge when you need it? I was literally just about to say that. Thank you, Reexamination. Josh Helfut for Doge. Yeah. Put him in Doge. You want to talk about a good fucking usage of governmental efficiency spending? How about we stop fucking stripping critical fucking military personnel from American ICBM silos in the Midwest, depriving America's ability to be able to respond if Russia just decided one day, yes, I think that we will decide to turn half of the world into giant glass-covered parking lot now. There's literally fucking like half a year there, at the very least. And that's only until the fucking thing got discovered and they claimed that they solved it. This is me taking their word that they actually got it fucking solved. But for like at least 6 months there was a span of time where America's fucking ICBM response to a fucking full frontal Russian attack would have basically been like, yeah, they got nuclear subs around the world and they would have been able to respond, so there would have been a nuclear response. But it wouldn't have been a fraction as good as it would have been. And I'm not acting like that's a good thing. I'm saying that the deterrence, right? I'm not some pro-nuclear war guy, don't get me wrong. But if we're really going to live in a world of deterrence doctrine, where we're allowed to have nukes because the other guy has nukes, and we need to make sure that other guy doesn't use the nukes by letting them know that we've got just as much as they do, and or the ability to fucking throw just as much destruction your way that the other guy does towards us. So if we're really going to be in this nuclear deterrence environment, it's probably for the best interests of the American public that deterrence be kept up to a decent degree, right? It's probably good that balance of power be maintained, if indeed we need to fucking justify the massive budget that goes toward these things. But nah, let's just fucking cut a bunch of operators from those and just fucking fire them, because it's inefficient to have those people there. The reason why I bring that up, by the way, is because I know that a whole bunch of the people on the right, a whole bunch of these Trumpers, are fucking pro-military. They're rah-rah military, rah-rah the troops. So if I bring up something that's that critical to American defense, obviously it's going to be something that's going to get their attention. Pierre Skrodsky. What's that? Pierre Skrodsky. I think that's right, Skrodsky. Third time's a charm, ladies and gentlemen. Third time's a charm. In any case, going back to our Iran war segment, let me just really quickly reorganize everything that I had ready to go for this particular live stream. Thank you for your patience. We got this sent to me as well by our journalist of the month. U.S. troops being told Iran war intended to bring about Armageddon, Watchdog says. Quote, he urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan. And he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the Book of Revelation, anonymous officer says in a complaint to Watchdog. American service members across every branch of the military have been told by commanders that the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran is intended to induce the biblical end times, or Armageddon, according to complaints lodged with a U.S. watchdog. Wow, what a secular fucking country. Yeah, America's really separating itself from fucking church and state, isn't it? When fucking U.S. troops are being told directly by their fucking superior officers, hey, this war, yeah, you might feel bad about the fact you're killing all those children in those schools and whatnot, but you really shouldn't, because the Magic Man's coming back soon. What a fucking joke. What the actual fuck? This isn't a fucking secular nation. If the fucking people that are defending the nation are being told by their superior officers that they're fucking meting out some Bronze Age prophecy. Oh, sorry, Iron Age prophecy. Let me not mischaracterize things. Some fucking Iron Age prophecy about how the world what done gonna end. I don't care whether you're Christian or whether you're atheist and whether what I just said triggered you because that's like offensive to your sensibilities. Like, at the end of the day, even you should be standing up and going, what the actual fuck? Aren't you proud of America? Aren't we supposed to be making America great again? Well, what does it fucking say in the Constitution of the United States exactly? What does it say in the Bill of Rights? What does it say in these documents that America holds so near and dear to its fundamental pillars of identity about religion? It says that people should have freedom of religion. People should be able to practice whatever religion they want. And here they are, getting this fucking propaganda straight out of the goddamn 1st century AD, pushed down their throats in order to try and fucking haphazardly justify the slaughter that's taking place here. Let me ask you, if you're a Christian, by the way, do you think the bombing of schools, do you think the mass killing of children is really what the God of the Bible wants? When it says to protect the little ones, when there's passages about keeping children safe? You know, on one hand, when people bring up the fact that there's so many Christian households that are abusive towards children, that'll fuck children over as far as giving them a horrible, haphazard view of what Christianity is and what being a person is and their role in life, because they horrifically abuse them and use the Bible to justify that abuse. You know what will always be used to justify that shit? They'll go, well, those people weren't real Christians, though. Because look at all these verses in the Bible what done say to protect the little ones. Way to fucking protect the little ones. By fucking killing them en masse. Yeah, this really is in keeping for what the God of the Bible wants for people, right? There's no verse saying, enter war to end the world, or force God's hand to end the world, so citation needed. That was something I was going to talk about later on in the article. So I'm going to read a little bit more of the article, and then I'll get into that. Rest you assured, re-examination. So anyways, continuing forward. This morning, our commander opened up the combat readiness status briefing by urging us not to be afraid as to what is happening with our combat operations in Iran right now, a non-commissioned officer said in an emailed complaint lodged with the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, or MRFF. Quote, he urged us to tell our troops that this was, quote, all of God's divine plan. And he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. The MRFF is a non-profit dedicated to ensuring religious freedom for members of the U.S. military. The officer who wrote to the group said that he penned the message on behalf of himself and 15 other members of his unit, including at least 10 other Christians, who were all stationed in the region in a ready support function. The other members were identified as one person who is Jewish and one who is Muslim. The religious beliefs of the other three, if any, were not known. Anadolu, so literally the majority of the people, it seems, like out of the numbers that were given here, aren't even fucking, hold on. So the officer who wrote the group said that he penned the message on behalf of himself and 15 other members of his unit. So yeah, 10 of those are Christians. 2/3 of the people in that fucking unit are Christian. And literally fucking 3 of them, so literally 20% of the total amount there, 1 out of 5, are going to be possibly atheist because their religious identification, if any, were not known. So it's not even like a bunch of fucking atheists are going and ringing the alarm bells about this. It's a bunch of Christians that are coming out and saying, and Muslims and Jews, it's not to say that they don't exist as well, but primarily Christians that are coming out and saying, hey guys, this is kind of fucked up. This is kind of messed up that we're being told that we're supposed to be doing this because Armageddon what done be coming. The officer's message was one of over 200 the Foundation has received across more than 50 military units since Saturday. So yeah, it's not even like it's a one-time thing. It's not even like this is one guy that just happened to be saying it, and I'm just making a big hullabaloo about one little thing that what doesn't even really matter. No. According to this, it's basically fucking endemic. Maybe they know something. Hey, maybe. Never mind the fact that Revelation says no man shall know the hour. Not even the frickin' Jesus knows. I said frickin'. Can't get too upset. I said frickin'. Not even Jesus knows the frickin' hour. Alright? Only the Father knows, according to the Bible. So these people that are out here going like, this is it. This is it. I'm gonna be the one that causes revelation to happen, everybody. It's so fundamentally arrogant. And that goes into what Reexamination was saying as well. There's no verse saying, enter war to end the world, or force God's hand to end the world, because you can't force God's hand. Even in the context of the Bible, that's such a fundamentally arrogant thing to think. That you're gonna fucking force the events to happen on your timetable because it's convenient to you. Revelation doesn't say that. Does it not? Hold on. B.S. Lewis is fact-checking me. We're going to see if that's true or not. Book of Revelation does not directly state that only the Father knows the hour of the end times. The famous declaration, but my Father only or similar, is found in Matthew 24:36. Gotcha! Gotcha. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, guys. You're right. It's not Revelation. It's Matthew. Thank you, BS. It's not found in Revelation. It's Matthew 24:36. Thank you very much, Reexamination and BS, for coming in and fact-checking me on that. Not only are Christians in charge, they are doomsday creationist Christians who are religious zealots, no different from Muslim extremists. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Big Bad Mama. If somebody is sitting here saber-rattling and trying to tell people that they're about to meet out the end times, tell me how that's fundamentally any different than a fucking Al-Qaeda jihadi terrorist saying that they're going to bring about the destruction of America in order to bring about the Mahdi or something like that. Because that's what when you look into a whole bunch of what their talking points are, they all say that either the Mahdi is going to come and rule over their destruction of America, and or the destruction of America will bring about the Mahdi. It's usually one or two of those things. So the messaging, the doomsday messaging that's at the center of these kinds of ideologies are fundamentally similar. It's kind of a horseshoe effect almost. And look up the horseshoe effect. It's when things are so different, especially so seemingly different, that they actually kind of come back around and become something that's rather similar, despite being so distant from one another in terms of the actual length between those two things in relation to the horseshoe itself. He understands the Bible more than Republicans do. Hey, I don't get it right all the time. Far from it. I'm not perfect with my understanding, and I would never claim it. Rex got it. Yeah. No, I was wrong about that. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Nobody will know the time but the Department of Homeland Security. King Trump grifter version. I didn't even put it on the show, but yeah, there's like Nicki Minaj of all people. You know that you're really dealing with an intellectual heavyweight when you got fucking Nicki Minaj making tweets. She put out a tweet that was like, the most meaningful thing that I've ever been given. And it's like a fucking Bible signed by Trump. And one of the replies in the comments was so apt. It was like, you know, as a Christian, I would never accept somebody's signature over the word of God. That's really weird. You're almost like supplanting the word of God at that point by putting your name on the cover and saying, yeah, this is all on behalf of me when you really think about it, folks. So yeah, this guy. I may not know the Bible extremely well, but I certainly know it a lot better than the guy that signed it. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. I know it better than the guy that says 2 Corinthians when you look at 2 Corinthians. Anyways, the officer's message was one of over 200 the Foundation has received across more than 50 military units since Saturday when U.S. President Donald Trump announced the beginning of sweeping strikes against Iran, a campaign the U.S. is embarking on alongside Israel. Trump has repeatedly vacillated when commenting publicly on his aims for the war on Iran, saying Saturday in a brief telephone interview with the Washington Post newspaper that his intention was to bring freedom to the Iranian people, a thinly veiled reference to regime change, which, by the way, when I was having conversations with Dustin over on Making Hell Nervous and I talked about regime change, that was one of the things that he was like, well, you don't even know that they're going for regime change or not, Aiden. And it's like, yeah, you're technically right, because it seems even fucking Trump doesn't know whether or not he's going for regime change, because he fucking, in classic Trump fashion, is contradicting himself all over the goddamn place. The objectives whipsawed over the following days, even as Trump has called on Iranians to take back their country from the revolutionary government that has led the country since 1979, which, says everything that it needs to. Trump really was under the impression that if he did a few strikes on Iran and he just made the statement on national television to the Iranian people, go overthrow your government, folks. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. If that really was the case, then it didn't work, did it? It's almost like this country that's been preparing for this exact fucking contingency for more than 40 goddamn years was prepared for the contingency, even when you fucking cut the head off the snake, quote unquote. Wasn't that the whole rhetoric at the beginning of this conflict? Was when we cut the head off the snake, the Iranian people were going to take back the country for themselves, and everybody that made the comparisons to other regime changes were all labeled as fucking liberal lefties and loonies that didn't know what they were talking about. And in classic Trumper fashion, these people get to just fucking shuffle back into the background with their tail between their legs and act like they never made that position in the first place. I never said that. I don't know what done you're talking about. Ugh. Hey to the 11 people that are watching right now. Hope everybody's enjoying the live stream so far. If you are enjoying, please follow the instructions of the placard at the bottom of the show, the ticker. Please like and subscribe to the stream if you're enjoying, and join the Frog Revolution today. In any case, the U.S. mission in Iran, as now defined, is to eliminate Iran's conventional ballistic missile program and its navy, bring an end to Tehran's regional proxy network, and ensure that it can never achieve a nuclear weapon, a long-stated goal across multiple U.S. administrations. Iran has long publicly rejected allegations that it seeks to develop a nuclear weapon. The officer, whose identity was withheld by the Foundation out of concern of retribution from the Pentagon, always a great environment to have, an environment of fear where you need to make these claims anonymously without massive reprisals being levied against you by the people that you made them against. Oh, thank God that we have a world where these people are able to anonymously make these complaints, where there is at least some kind of fucking non-profit watchdog organization out there where these whistleblowers can go to and make these things aware to the common public. Said the commander further told the unit that Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. He had a big grin on his face when he said all of this, which made his message seem even more crazy. Our commander would probably be described as a, quote, Christian first supporter, the officer who identifies as Christian said. Quote, he has been this way for a very long time and makes it clear that he desires all of us under him to become just like him as a Christian. But what he did this morning was so toxic and over the line that it shocked many of us in attendance at the ops readiness briefing, he added. I mean, good. I'm glad in spite of this fucking loon's effort to try and push all of his loony fucking ideas off onto everybody else, that there's at least an atmosphere of some kind of fucking accountability that exists within this military. Where these people go, what the fuck did he just say? But this is the administration, keep in mind that when Democratic lawmakers stated that soldiers are allowed to disobey unlawful orders were called seditious and that they should hang and things like that. No, never mind that. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that this had to be reported anonymously to a watchdog organization. Not at all. Those two things, they couldn't be connected in the slightest. Anadolu sent multiple requests for comment to the Pentagon, but none received responses as of the time of publication. Religious overtones have run high in the Israeli-U.S. attack. A day into the offensive, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu referenced a Torah command, comparing the Iranian regime to an ancient biblical foe, one that has also been invoked in reference to Palestinians. Funny how that works. They're just anybody that you want them to be in the moment. You know, all these atheists out there that say that one of the major reasons why religion is so popular in the world is because it can be used and manipulated by the powerful elite in order to send messages that ultimately cause death and destruction around the world. Maybe they have a little bit of a point. You know, that's not to say, obviously, that everybody that's religious thinks that way. Obviously not. But maybe the idea that religion is in fact used as a fucking cudgel to try and justify otherwise unjustifiable things. Maybe those people have a little bit of a point. I don't know. You know, I'm sure that plenty of Christians would admit that that's true when it comes to the fucking radical Muslims, like Big Bad Mama had referenced earlier. When it comes to the fucking Ayatollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, I'm sure that there would be no lack of people in America. It would be a bipartisan agreement that those people are religious fanatics who put their religion first and who allow their religious beliefs to cause untold death and destruction and harm off of the basis that that's okay because of these ancient texts. Those people would line up in ready agreement when it comes to the fucking Muslims. But when it comes to the Christian extremists, no. No. They agree with us on most things, so we're just going to look the other way when it comes to those fucking people. Anyways, in order to not drag this on for too crazy long, I think the major point has been made at that juncture. Thank you for the article, Big Bad Mama. It's appreciated. Same lies, same shit. Yes, indeed, Robin. By the way, I saw that you joined a minute ago, Robin. Sorry for not highlighting some of your comments. I'm going to highlight some of those now, and I'm going to highlight some of the comments in the chat in general. Sorry, I've kind of been neglecting it a little bit. Suckers believe what he says and the lies. If they wanted nukes, they could have had them in a couple years ago. They had the capacity to enrich far beyond where they did, which is true. DeFreak out here saying, y'all still falling for the Trump troll? Lol. Trump does negotiate through the media. I mean, that's pretty dumb. If Trump negotiates through the media, then I'm sure even you, DeFreak, would have to recognize at this point that those tactics haven't exactly been the most effective. Right? They really haven't been. They haven't exactly proved to be all that effective in the face of everything that we're looking at right now over the course of this show and so many of the others, right? I thought atheists hated theocracies. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. Theocracies suck. Theocracies are awful. And theocracies are definitely something that need to be dealt with. But do you really think that theocracies are going to be effectively dealt with under the means that we're currently pursuing? When you keep in mind all of the other instances where America tried to deal with major fucking Islamic extremist organizations, major theocratic organizations like ISIS and like the Taliban and like Al Qaeda? Do you think that when they went against them, that those people lost or that they won? Sorry, who's in charge of Afghanistan right now, DeFreak? Who's in charge of Afghanistan right now? Because I'm pretty sure it's a theocratic organization that America just kind of allowed to persist over there because they got sick and tired of fucking putting their dick in that beehive for all of eternity. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening. It'd be very easy to say that we have no nukes and no uranium. I mean, even if they claimed that, they wouldn't believe it, and I wouldn't believe that either. I don't believe that Iran has no intention to eventually create nuclear weapons. I agree that they're definitely trying to do that on some capacity. I don't think they're trying to do it and are nearly as effective at doing that as America is purporting them to be. But if Iran built up a nuclear weapon, let's just say that was the case, right? Iran detonates a test nuke in the middle of the Iranian desert, and we find out, and it's unequivocal, that the Iranians have a nuclear device at that point. I think that that would be too late, right? We would agree. Everybody would agree that that would be too late. Because at that point, it'd be almost impossible to go and extract that regime from that region without some kind of nuclear exchange taking place. Which, last I checked, not a good precedent for the human race. Not a good precedent for the planet either, environmentally. To throw a couple of nukes around willy-nilly, right? So, I'm pretty sure, with that in mind, the United States Secret Service, the CIA, all of these different organizations that exist in order to investigate these sorts of things would be aware well before a nuclear weapon was actually properly prepared. And if we didn't live in a world where America constantly fucking claimed every goddamn week for the last 30, 40 years that Iran is like a week away from developing their own nuke. They're right there, guys. They're right on the cusp. If we weren't just a week away from fucking Iran having nukes for the last 40 years, maybe I and a lot of other people would be more willing to believe the claims that Iran is just about there. It's just about to get them, guys. Stop watching legacy media. They all have the money motivation. I mean, I'd largely agree with that sentiment as well, Robin. I'd largely agree with that as well. Achilles sent this next clip to us. I'm not going to play the entire thing because it gets to a certain point where I'm not even sure if I'd be able to play it on YouTube and not get some kind of takedown on my channel, because this guy's hand, his wrist literally gets fucking snapped. And you can hear it. It's awful. And in the interest of not having people hear that, I'm going to try and avoid that part.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. No. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one.
Alright, I don't know how much longer I can play it in order to avoid it. But suffice it to say, if you want to go and look into this footage, unfortunately, this guy's wrist gets fucking broken viscerally. And if you look at the gentleman, quote unquote, in the blue suit who runs up and also tries to drag this guy away, he is the titular Senator Sheehy. Or Sheehy? 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 Yeah, United States Senator trying to fucking drag a U.S. Marine out of the fucking goddamn meeting. Even though the police were already coming to go take care of it. Even though the security, rather, were coming and dragging him out like they were. We need to make sure that this guy's extricated from this situation as quickly as possible. Maybe I'll get a couple extra fucking votes from this by fucking snapping a Marine Corps fucking veteran's wrist. His wrist gets broken and he makes no sound about it. If I was one of those cops, I would just stand in attention and awe. I mean, in order to recognize these people for who they are, you have to have somewhat of an ability to freely think for yourself. And unfortunately, these security personnel are just goons that have just been trained to obey without thought whatever they're told to do. Soon as somebody makes a fuss about the fact that they don't want American fucking sons and daughters to get their lives thrown away because Israel, as America's fucking vassal state within this region, is being used as America's excuse to perpetrate this fucking conflict. It's fucking awful. It's unequivocally awful. What's worse about this video is that the other generals are not even turning their heads. That's a good point. I didn't even point that out, but that's very true, Achilles. That's very true. This whole, like, mentality of brotherhood, this whole mentality of, like, oh, we're all fucking united behind one common cause. We're all united behind one common ideology. We're here in a brotherly fashion to fucking protect each other and protect the Constitution. That all fucking falls away the second it's no longer convenient for that person to be your brother, isn't it? This, like so many other unfortunate instances in life, is just yet another example of somebody that took an oath to defend the Constitution and defend the brothers in arms that help them defend that Constitution. And yet the second that that becomes inconvenient to their career, they just look the other way and pretend like it's not happening, even though it's literally taking place before their fucking eyes. Before their eyes! It's happening right there! And what do they do about it? Just skim forward 20 seconds and you'll bypass the cracking sounds? Okay, hold on. Let me get here.
He's a Marine. Somebody come help him.
Control your Senate committee.
Look at you guys. You're robots. You won't even look back. Look at you guys. You're like robots. Oh my God. What is happening? And you're not even looking back. Any of you 4-star generals. Oh my God. What is happening right now? Eyes front, robots. Shame. Shame. Oh my God, you guys.
Well, at least there's one person in this room that's able to recognize this. And you know what? You know what? The funny thing is, all these fucking MAGA-tards who claim that they fucking love America so much, they fucking stand for the Republic and everything that it fucking identifies with, all those fucking platitudes, they're gonna take a look at this woman who's calling out abject injustice for what it is in front of her eyes, and they're probably gonna say shit like, oh, she's just overreacting, look at her, another classic example of a woman being hysterical. Lol, Karen. Yeah, look, DeFreak. Literally in real time. I fucking predicted it. I prophetically predicted it in real time. And you know, DeFreak, you're probably like trying to get like ban baited right now. I'll let the mods handle you, DeFreak. I'm not even going to adjust your comments for the rest of the stream because they're just so bottom tier. They're so irrelevant. I'll let the mods handle your bitch ass.
Everybody sit down.
What did I just see? I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Oh my God, what is
That's all. Okay, good. No, it's not.
Oh my God.
Stuck.
It's disgusting.
Oh my God, you guys.
Sorry, does that hurt? Can you open it up a little bit just to like change the gap? Hey guys, clear the hallways.
Out.
Clear the hallways.
Out.
Clear the hallways,
Nice
please.
and easy.
Clear the hallways, please.
Can you help him, please?
Yes, yes. Have places going there. Please through the hallways.
Oh my God.
What happened?
His hand got totally smashed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why are you getting arrested?
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, Palestine will be free.
And what about this war in Iran?
Oh my God.
His arm.
Okay. Ah, fuck, my arm is fucking broke, bro. What are you gonna do to him? My left arm is broke. I understand. Don't fight.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys, come on.
I need you to move.
You need to stop.
Okay.
Brian, stop.
He's fighting for you, not for him.
My left arm is broke.
They broke his arm.
That comment from somebody there in the background sums it up way better than I ever could. He's fighting for you, not for him. You fucking goons that are trying to fucking drag this guy away right now. What, none of you have children? None of you have children? I didn't pull this shit for the fucking show, but I'll probably have it up for the next one. Fucking Elon dumbfuck Musk put out a fucking tweet recently that was like, if the draft ever came out, people wouldn't be able to flee the country using Teslas. They wouldn't be able to use them to flee because I have control over them in order to shut them down at the border. And it's like, yeah, okay, Elon. I'm sure that you, one of the people that was in Trump's inner circle for the longest time, doesn't have access to more information about what's happening than the average person. But no, when I was alluding to the fact that America might institute the draft on one of my previous shows, there were people in the comments going, "Oh, that's ridiculous. That's so hyperbolic. That doesn't make any sense. They'll never implement the draft." We'll just have to fucking see about that, won't we? And the second they implement the draft, what you gonna fucking do about it? You think all the fucking protests over the draft in fucking Vietnam, you think all the protests in the fucking Korean War, you think any of those fucking protests over the draft actually got the fucking draft to end? Nope. So how about you proactively, for once, as a country, go against the idea of there being a draft? But no, America can't fucking be proactive anymore because it's an inherently reactionary fucking country. It's an inherently reactionary fucking society of people who can't think about something that's beyond the bridge of their own goddamn nose.
Oh my God, it's totally broken. Oh man. Please, can you get him some kind of medical attention?
Yes, we are.
Oh my God.
You are? It's great.
Just let go of my arm before you sit down.
Y'all step back, please. Please move back.
Yeah, can you at least grab the arm that isn't fucking broken? You dumb shit. Could you at least grab the one that you didn't fucking break? Abject lack of fucking decency from these people is horrifying. Horrifying. There's no other way of putting it. It's fucking awful. It's fucking horrifying. I don't know how many times it needs to be said before people understand it. Anyways, moving on. I am starting to realize, given how long I've spent on these segments, that I may be going a little bit over long here. So I will review these next segments with the ability for people to join the panel. I wasn't able to put the link out earlier, so I'm going to send a link to the restream one more time in the main chat. Let me know if it's out in the main chat after I send it out, and if it's not, I'm gonna start individually distributing it to, first of all, my mods, so that hopefully, like Achilles, if I send this to you on Gmail, can you please if I send this to you on Gmail, can you please try to post it in the chat? Because I was able to make that work with Peter once or twice when I was doing these streams. I was able to get Peter to post the link. So I'm going to try and send you this over Gmail. And we'll see if you can post it. All right. Link is going out to everybody that I have the ability to contact with the link. If anybody wants to join, let me know in the side chat. I am going to distribute it out to everybody in real time. This is the most exciting part of the show, everybody. Thank you so much. You know? Sorry about that, guys. Oh, you know what? The next thing that I'm going to cover while I'm getting this sent out, I am going to cover what Josh sent me over Gmail, because I promised him I was going to cover it over the show. And, you know, maybe just maybe it would be a nice little refresher for people. You know, we've been talking about a lot of heavy shit. So I'm going to cover this next short as a little bit of a palate cleanse while I get this link sent out. Oh, I think Achilles was able to post it. Hold on. Yep, he was able to post it. Awesome. Yeah, no idea why that's been working the way that it is, but let me just pin that in the chat really quick. And then we're going to take a look at this wholesome video, okay? I promise you. It's going to happen. Pin message. There we go. Oh, I heard the join noise. Hey, Achilles. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well today, my friend.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Well, about as well as you can under the current circumstances. Maybe this will help you feel just a little better. This came from Josh.
Dogs always make me feel better.
Even better than a dog.
Can I give you a boop? Boop. Good boy. Aww.
Good morning.
I've heard Scooby make fairly similar noises when he wanted food after a long enough period of time, so I do think there's a distinct connection between the dog and the fox.
Are you kidding me? I was between dog and a cat.
Hi, Portia.
What's that, sorry?
I was like between a dog and a cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Spooky says that's a badger. That ain't no badger. That's a fox. That ain't no badger.
Me no badger. I'm a fox.
That's right.
Oh man, look at that. It's like a dog. Look.
It really does look.
I would think it's a dog if I found that out.
I would as well. It is adorable. All right. I hope that helped everybody a little bit. Let's all just take a moment and appreciate that. And with that being said, let's take a look at our next prepared segments on the show. I'm going to get rid of all these other tabs that I got pulled up. Thank you, by the way, Josh, for throwing that out there. Much needed in these dark and despairing times that we live in. Let's take a look at the wonderful breakfast that's being given to these gentlemen in the United States, these ladies and gentlemen in the United States military. Doesn't that look nice?
All you need.
Doesn't that look nice? Oh, you just want to dig into whatever mystery goop that is up on the top right there. And then you've got what looks like an omelet that was left on somebody's kitchen counter for like 3 or 4 days. That's just gone completely desiccated. And what also looks like a couple of blunts in between the mystery substance and that thing of bread, that stale piece of brown bread in the bottom corner there. But need you worry not, Achilles, because at least you've got an orange that at least looks semi-fresh. That's worth the several $1 trillion budget, isn't it?
I mean, at least the orange is not white, because everything else seems to be like around the color white, you know? The cook was like, all right, we get white today. Are these sausages, dude?
I think they might be, dude. I think they might be.
They do look more like blunts.
They do look like blunts. Like
I would light it up first and then.
Oh yeah, you know, there's so many Americans though that'll be like, "Oh, the badass military! The military's so cool! Rah rah! The military's so great!" And then they just kind of look the other way when you look at the horrible treatment that these people are given, whether it be the man who is treated the way he was in my previous video that you showed to me, or the food that's being given to these people that are expected to ruck several dozen kilograms worth of gear on several mile-long marches every single day.
And brother, for me, that video that you played there was very, when I saw it, the first time I saw it, other than the whole Constitution being like torn apart and we don't even care for our veterans anymore, I was just standing in attention with how many medals he had and how the cops tried to put him down, and he was like, my training is higher than yours.
Yeah.
I've actually been combat trained and you guys just can't. I mean, I think he willingly let them take him.
Yeah, I think the biggest confrontation those security guards probably had before that was the fact that the donut shop was out of the donuts that they wanted on the day before. That was probably the worst confrontation they had to deal with compared to this guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if he wanted, he could tie them up in a knot, both of them.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I really wouldn't.
And to see Americans supporting that instead of STFU and just watch with their eyes like opened up and get shocked, they will take a minute to just type what they think about this and how wrong he was. That's shocking. That's so shocking to me. It's not the first time I see it. Sad. It's very sad.
It is.
And it should teach us to not blame the Germans so much, or the Italians, for World War II. We were like,
compared to the government.
Yeah, how couldn't they see it happening? Why didn't they stop it? Here's why. Here's why.
It's always more difficult to see in the moment when it's happening, because seeing it in the moment that it's happening requires you actually having the intellectual fortitude to go and look into what is happening, and B, which is already too much to ask for most of the population, and B, having the moral fortitude to be able to ignore all the naysayers when you do stand up and say that these things are horrible and point out how awful all of this is and the treatment that these people are being fucking subjected to, both in America and all around the world.
And you said something that I think is very important, and I want to repeat it. How, oh yeah, we're gonna see if the stuff takes place, haha. And yeah, okay, what if it does, and we're all right about it? What are you gonna do then? Like, hey, no, I'm gonna stop it. You're gonna
Yeah.
ass whoop.
Yeah.
If it doesn't stop now, which is already almost impossible to do, we're not asking you guys to just, get out there and stop it. You can't.
But at least say something.
Yeah, at least get a better attitude about it. That's all. Don't be the robot guy. Oh, do anything the president says. Even if he's working for the military complex, I don't care.
I'm sure if you looked at the actual faces of those people looking the other way, you would actually find that they'd be Sal and Terry and Lupin and all of those people. It's all those types that are looking the other way. But you know what the difference is, though? The difference is that at least Lupin and Sal and all these people didn't take an oath to the Constitution that they're supposed to fucking give their lives to defend it and the values that are enshrined within it. So, at least they have that excuse to defer to.
To be honest, I'm hoping that somewhere along the line here on this YouTube sphere, some of them are going to turn around and say,
me too.
Thank you guys for showing me I was wrong and this is wrong. That's
what? And you know what? I'm just gonna put this out there, and if I contradict this, somebody fucking clip this shit right now to hold me to account for this. If you start waking up to this stuff and actually start becoming critical of it, I'm not gonna drag you. I'm not gonna go like, oh, ha, told you so, shows you.
Right.
No, if you actually start coming around to the other side of things, I'm going to say, you know what? Good on you for actually taking the time to be able to wake up to this stuff, because that is not my first priority. My first priority is not, oh, told you so, guess I was right over you. No, my first priority is to make people aware that this shit is happening. That's my first priority.
Right.
Anyways, moving on to our next segment. This just goes to show, for the umpteenth time, that this whole MAGA ideology is a cult. We've got little Marco Rubio. We've got him being questioned by a reporter here and literally contradicting what he had said earlier the second he found out that Trump contradicted what he had said earlier.
Dude, they've contradicted themselves on the reason why they did this like 5 times so far.
Oh, I know. And it's great because Marco doesn't realize at the beginning of this that Trump has changed his stance. So he literally has to flip it in real time. It's such a great example of the cult-like behavior being exposed before people's eyes.
That's the hardest part of working for Trump. You prepare your speech, and by the time you like give it, you have to be like super fast.
Yeah, you got to think on your feet. You really do. When you're working for Trump, and that's probably why he fired so many people under his first term, because a bunch of them couldn't keep up with all of his bullshit. Anyways, let's play this.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
okay.
the question.
No, were you the one?
That's not the main part, but that's just so funny in of itself. Where he's like, were you there? And she's like, yeah, I asked you the question. And like a month ago or something like that, I'd give him credit and be like, okay, he didn't remember. But it was literally yesterday, dude.
Dude, what's very shocking is that they had no plan, like other than what to bomb and how to like bring the airplanes together and get this one first and then that one then, and all that stuff. They did that, all right, yes, but they had absolutely no plan about anything. Like Americans started going wherever they could and they went to the embassy. And the embassy was like, "We don't know. Let's run, go somewhere." And then, like 2 days later, on this specific interview that he gives, he says, "Well, we already got out of there like 10,000 Americans," and that happened a week, almost like 5 days after the whole thing. And people don't look at this day by day. They're like waiting for their announcements, and they're like, "Well, we already got 8,000 Americans out." Yeah, but when? Like,
Yeah.
and
That's a
by
bit
the
of an
way,
important detail.
and by the way, I'm sorry for you want to play this, and I'm just gonna throw a random question out there, right?
You're good.
Right now, there are 30,000 people that had to leave their countries. They are Iranians, they are Lebanese. As a Greek, neighboring their countries, who has the same problem with the US concerning immigration, but not the same mentality about it.
Yeah.
I want some American to tell me who to blame for this. What am I supposed to do now? Go to my borders and make sure they don't get in? Or should I say, "Hey, did you get your legal papers done after this surprise war that happened? Oh, you don't have them ready? Well, walk home, go back."
Seems like a viable solution.
For Republicans, I guess they'll be like, "Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Duh.
Fuck
Right.
them. I got mine. That's basically their whole fucking ideology.
Yep. Build a wall, dude." Yeah, I'm surrounded by water. Yeah. Not that easy, dude.
We're building the seawall. We're gonna build it. It's gonna be as high as the walls of Atlantis, folks. You believe me?
They're gonna love it. The fish is gonna love
it. It's just like when a re-examination was saying in the chat, the net just got 10 feet deeper, folks. It just got 10 feet deeper.
You told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
Okay.
a question.
No, were you the one that? Because somebody asked me a question yesterday. Did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that follow-up, and I said no. I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program. That Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks.
So let's bring in CBS News.
What happened? You here? You're muted, probably.
Yep, I'm muted. My bad.
It's good to have a co-host, dude.
Yeah, it is. Every once in a while, man, it can really pay dividends, can it? No, you're always appreciated around here as a co-host, man. But
Thanks, bro.
When it comes to this, I think that there's no more besides what we already showed there. But like I pointed out in the article talking about Armageddon, the original stance that was being made by this government was, the Iranian people, they need to free themselves. They need to free themselves from this horrible regime. They're literally like directly trying to incite regime change over Iran. And when that blows up in their face, then all of a sudden it's about the ballistic missiles. We got to go in for the missiles. We got to destroy their navy. It's just, I mean, if people can't understand that the reasons that are being given for these wars just keep getting thinner and thinner as time goes on, I don't really know what to say.
I have a short, very, very short thing to show you.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, tell me when you got it on screen.
Yeah, I got it on screen.
It's too short, so there's not going to be any copyright issue.
Okay.
Tell me if you got audio.
I do, yes.
Okay.
In our 20-year recurring segment, nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Did you turn it up?
Yeah. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I did hear it. But I just want to make sure everybody Everybody in the audience can hear it as well.
And that look on John's face, man.
Here, recurring segment. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
We've got a new participant in the live stream right now, by the way. Peter, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing great.
Nothing bad can happen, only good can happen.
That's right. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen, Peter.
No, something bad is going to happen, but...
No, Peter, didn't you just hear it can only good happen, Peter? I just said
No, I'm still
right,
by myself.
face the wall,
the
liberal.
moment people
Face
are
the
getting
wall.
home, something bad's going to happen.
Dude, joke aside, we're doomed. Like, the whole thing. First off, I just want you to know, guys, Iran has done nothing yet. Like, we haven't seen the real response. Just keep that in mind. Number two, the main reason this is happening, it's not Israel. Israel benefits a lot, but what it is the corridor that it's called Southern International Transport Corridor, and it goes from the Strait of Hormuz straight to Russia. It goes through Azerbaijan, which is the previous place that Trump interfered. If you remember, he fixed that war with Albania and Azerbaijan, even though Albania is not there. He meant Armenia. But then he went below that. They're trying to strangle Russia. And they're not going to let that slide, dude. Like, it's not just Iran. We got to be afraid of the retaliation from this.
You mean to tell me that going around and poking a bunch of fucking trouble in the Middle East could lead to a widespread conflict that spills out beyond the immediate...
Liberal.
Yeah. I know. Wait, some fucking guy shot the Austro-Hungarian Archduke? That sounds like an Austro-Hungarian problem to me, bro. Doesn't sound like it's going to affect me, not at all. Like, that's literally the level of thinking that people have when it comes to this shit.
The first thing I thought when this whole thing started happening was those videos that we see online of somebody that finds a wasp nest and just goes and hits it with like a stick and then it just run away. I think this is exactly what we're witnessing, kicking the hornet's nest. And
yeah, I was just going to say, this isn't a wasp nest, this is a hornet's nest.
Yeah,
slightly more dangerous.
Right.
Peter, I have a question for you. Are you going to hold your like hostage on this stream like you did on that other stream, Peter?
Did I hold you hostage?
No, I'm asking, are you going to hold your like hostage like you did on the other show? Your like, the like on the God, Peter.
Oh,
do you need me to diagram it on a whiteboard for you?
I've had such a great day. I mean, the counter's still on 1 at my end. What the hell's happening? Okay, now it's 2.
Give it to him, Peter, for free.
Now it's 2.
That's right.
I've had such a great day. You're gonna get a like. I'll like it. Let me like it again.
Wow.
And, oh, now it's back to 1. Oh, let me like it again. Now it's back to 2. I can like the stream all day.
Peter's gonna go on his 82 sock accounts and like my stream, and all of them are gonna get immediately revoked.
Yeah,
my channel's gonna get taken down.
I tried that. That's not gonna work.
I know. I'm not. Nor would I ask you to do that either. I don't want a whole bunch of fake likes.
Anyway, so I did teach you today that you have to go to the correct crossing to shoot a picture for your thumbnail.
Look, I will edit the thumbnail when I can. Oh, wait, I might be able to right now. Hold on.
Yeah, you can do that during the stream, I think.
Let me go and grab your image here and make sure that it saves to the proper image format, because it always loves to be WebP images, even though
Right.
nobody uses WebP for anything.
I use WebP for almost everything, but that's
Oh
because I
God, you're such a
stream.
contrarian. Oh, I
No,
actually
I
use WebP
I
for everything.
stream.
It's a far better image format when you really think about it.
No, it's a far better video format because it makes tiny files. You get a video file of 1 gigabyte, and it ends up being 15 megabyte or something.
Your Premiere,
So-
your Adobe Premiere recognizes WebP images, WebM or whatever that is, because mine doesn't. I'm on CS6.
No.
All right, the thumbnail has been updated, Peter. The thumbnail has
Great.
officially been updated. Thank you kindly.
Great. Well, I
for the
came across that particular crossing because I bought another 30-year-old scooter today, and I went out riding to see what it was like.
He doesn't like fake likes, but he seems to appreciate real dislikes. That's true. That's true. I'll tell you what. If I ever see a dislike in my stream, I get genuinely giddy. And you know why I get genuinely giddy? It's because it reminds me of the earlier days of YouTube, the better days of YouTube, when rather than the like and dislike, they had the star rating system. Because let me tell you, when I wanted to find a video on old YouTube, I wouldn't click on the 5-star videos. I would click on 3 or below because I wanted to see the controversial shit. I wanted to see the stuff that people would get mad about and people would be talking about. And yeah, that was what I was interested in. And I'd like to think for anybody that does dislike that, they help just capture a little bit of that energy, even if people can't see them beyond me. It's such a tragedy that they hid the dislike button, by the way. Isn't it? Because it wasn't enough that they already diluted.
Hold on, I can see the dislike button.
No, they hid the ability to see dislikes, like the number.
Yeah.
You know you can get it back, right?
Yeah, I know. I have YouTube Advanced on my phone, and that gives me the ability to see dislikes as well as skip all ads and all.
Right.
Even in video ads, it skips. It's great.
Another one is return YouTube dislikes. It's a add-on for Chrome and Firefox. You should not be using Chrome, anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I'm using Chrome on Windows 11. I value my privacy, guys. Anyway,
have you graphified Windows or just are using it vanilla?
I gotta get a custom instance of Windows.
No, you just find some programs. My favorite one is Win Aero, like AERO, Win Aero Tweaker. You might not, you don't need to write it down. You can go back on the stream and hear it. And you can tweak everything through that program. You gotta disable Cortana, Copilot, all that stuff, dude. They're recording. And
I have that stuff disabled. Yeah, I have Copilot and Cortana and all that stuff shut off. No, one of the first things I did was go disable Copilot because of the fact that there was literally a version of it that would just grab random screen grabs from your computer for, I think it was like its recall program or something like that. It was like, Copilot recall. We're just going to fucking grab random screen grabs from your computer. It's like, oh, thanks.
So another very important thing is type hosts, Windows 11 hosts on the internet, and you will find a GitHub site that has a file which is called hosts. So Windows has a file that, if it's a text file, just it's so advanced, it's a text file, which if you don't want a website to be able to be visited by your system, you just add that website there.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it is that Windows is trying to hide it, because you have to go to C Windows System32 /drivers /etc, like etc.
Yeah.
First off, it's not even a driver. Why do you hide it in the drivers and then etc. So
It's like a kid hiding his porn behind like homework or something like that.
yeah. And they monitor Windows and they see which websites they contact behind your back, and they have created a huge file with all those websites. So you take that file and you replace your own hosts, and you're safe from those websites getting visited by Windows. It can't access them. So
yeah, but don't replace it entirely, because there might be things in there that you don't want to lose.
No, there's not. Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Well, in yours there's nothing. In mine there's a ton.
Yeah, append to it. Like go at the end and type all the others too, right?
Yeah.
Copy and paste them inside.
Copy paste.
Well, this is just a fucking invigorating segment on this show. It must be said. Anyway,
well, important.
Well,
I know.
Let's get more invigorant. So, Aiden, when are you thinking that you're gonna get another 407 subscribers?
Another 407 subscribers. You know what? I'll get around.
You're at 93 now, so you need to get to 500, because then we can hype your videos.
Neat.
Instead of liking them.
What does hyping do?
Hey, by the way,
hyping makes it so your videos will show up more in the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, neat. That's
okay. So I snatched the microphone from Peter, and I ask another question to Aiden. Mr. Aiden, what do you think about Canada saying that they will contribute to this war?
I mean, unfortunately, Canada has a long and storied history of kind of just going along with what the United States wants when it comes to these conflicts.
It would be so funny if they turned up and then sided with.
Anyway, Peter. Like, I'm in the middle of fucking saying something, dude.
You'll be unmuted in the moment. Speaks, right? No, hi, Mom.
Anyway, yeah. You'll have your moment, Peter. Just fucking wait a second. Canada has a long and storied history, unfortunately, when it comes to Iraq and Afghanistan and all these conflicts, of just kind of jumping in with America blindly and saying that it's going to support them. You know, for as critical as I was of the Trudeau government, because trust me, they were a really shitty government, but I don't know if they would have necessarily jumped on this bandwagon in the same way that our current government is right now. I can't say that definitively, whether or not that's the case. But I kind of feel like, given what his stance was on other major conflicts going on around the world, that we would have at least had less of a chance of getting involved in this in the way that we are right now.
The only country that has put up a stand or a stance, one of the two, is Spain. That's the only country that said no. And when Trump threatened Spain, they doubled down and said no again. We don't care about your threats. This war is wrong. And good job, Spain.
Yeah, and then recently
we can't use that basis. Well, we could have used them. We could have just went there. What are they going to do? We could just go there. Well, try it out and see what happens.
The first thing that I saw on that, Achilles, was a fairly out of context clip on my on Facebook of Trump saying, "We're gonna cut off trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain." And I was like, "Oh shit! I didn't realize it was fucking 1891 all over again. What the hell just happened? America and Spain are fucking beefing again? Like what? What's going on?" And yeah, surely enough, it was because Spain, it's just the modern version of freedom fries, right?
Right. I feel for the kids. I feel for the kids, though.
2003, when America went after fucking Iraq, and France was like, and no, I shall not go and waste countless French lives in this horrible quagmire of a conflict. And America goes, "What the hell? You guys are supposed to be our allies. We're going to change it to freedom fries now." And that lasted all of like 15 minutes before people went and called them French
freedom fries and freedom toast.
That's true. Freedom toast.
Like you toasted them completely. Like that
Aiden, you're missing the big picture.
Peter,
You're missing the big picture.
Peter,
I
are
mean,
you
I feel
capable-
for the kids. I feel for the kids, the American kids. They did nothing to deserve this. I mean, if Trump is going to mess with Spain and he wants nothing to do with Spain, you know who lives in Spain?
Who's that?
It's a guy called Saint Nicholas. He comes to the Netherlands every year, and then he goes back to Spain again, and then apparently a half a month later he turns up in the United States and starts giving kids presents there, and they think that he lives at the North Pole, but he lives in Spain.
And they're not going to be able to get their presents anymore.
That's how little you know. Trump ruining Christmas.
And
for
other
everyone.
than joking about it, there are some countries out there that contribute to like all the healthy stuff that you can find still in the US because they're narrowing down. The number is getting less and less. Spain is the #1 exporter of olive oil in the world and good wine. And
Do you know what's worse? You know what's worse? Achilles?
Good.
So let's say that
Peter, you got to stop just fucking overtaking everybody on the show. All right, this isn't your show. All right, chill out. Let Achilles finish his statement, please. Just chill.
Although he did ask, if I were to just add a little bit on what I was saying, is that everything that you see happening as like retribution to some other country, it's Americans that are going to pay for it. You're going to have a higher expenses on buying everything. Like with tariffs, you're the one that pays for it. With wars, you're the one that pays for it. With more tariffs on more countries, you're the one that pays for it. I mean, I want one American to tell me how this war helps with their income. How? And let's tariff everybody. Let's tariff the Chinese, let's tariff the Russians, let's tariff the Canadians, let's tariff all Southern America because we don't need them. Let's tariff like all Europe. And how expensive will things be when you do that? I mean, do people math anymore? Do they math anymore? Does anybody math around?
I mean, the majority of Americans are, at least the majority of Americans that are still under Trump's spell, are still deluded into the idea that tariffs are somehow benefiting them rather than just a direct tax on them that's passed off from the American business class. Sorry, Peter, you were trying to say something, and it's not that I don't want to hear what you have to say. You just got to take your turn.
I wanted to add on to Achilles. So let's say they close the Strait of Hormuz. Then China will have problems getting 80% of their oil. So everything coming from China is going to be massively expensive because they need to get their oil from somewhere else. And then the price of MAGA hats and Trump Bibles will go through the roof. I mean, just imagine.
And
I'd love to see that.
And the whole joke started so much earlier that he promised that by tariffing everybody, I will tariff all the European cars, right? And so I can build American cars again, make American cars great again. Okay, but at the same time, he tariffs aluminum, steel, copper. So who is going to start a whole factory of building cars when the copper there is 25% more expensive and the aluminum and the steel and all the chips are more expensive? Like, don't people see that? Like, if you want to just ban the cars, but leave the raw material alone. But no.
On Musk's Teslas, which came from Canada.
Hell, man.
I mean, this guy is a business genius for everyone else but the United States.
For everybody else, yeah.
Let's agree on something. These are the best times in the world for comedians.
Yes,
that is true.
But the problem is, are the comedians saying things that Trump said, or are they making fun by exaggerating what he said? Because you can't figure out what's real anymore.
Peter, he's such a joke. You don't need to exaggerate, dude.
It's true.
No.
It's true. We literally, on one of the streams, which, by the way, when I start making shorts, that's probably going to have to be the first ever short that I put out on this channel because it was just so perfect. When I was trying to, like, jokingly talk about how Trump was like, I'm going to get the Medal of Honor, folks. It's going to be mine. I'm going to get it. And then Achilles wrote in the fucking side chat, he was like, actually, dude, Trump did try to say that if he was allowed to get the Medal of Honor, he would get it. And I didn't believe him at first. I was like, no, he didn't. That's not
He
real.
actually said, can I give it to myself?
Yeah.
He said, can I give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor?
Yeah. But
the Congressional Medal of Honor.
They told me that I can't give it to myself, so
yeah.
Isn't it funny that those people, by the way, the majority of people that simp for this guy are the people that are like, you ever notice that all these people nowadays, they always want these, if you look at fucking right-wing comedy, right? A whole bunch of it is dominated by all these kids these days that want their fucking participation trophies, you know? They just want their trophies just for showing up. Oh, look at me. Our name's Little Timmy in the wheelchair. I get the same kind of medal as the one that won the 100-yard dash, right? That's right-wing comedy. And then the fucking meanwhile, the president of the United States is like, I would have awarded myself the same medal as the one given to people that charged machine gun nests at Omaha Beach and Iwo Jima. That's for me.
Don't forget the Olympic gold medal that he won with ice hockey team.
Yeah, he wore around his neck. I never thought that I'd win one of these in my life. Well, you didn't, Trump. You didn't win it. It's not yours.
Crazy.
But in all fairness, I did see a headline today in the Netherlands that said that Netanyahu was the worst president the United States has ever had.
Oh,
God!
But it's true. I reminds me of I have a meme I want to share, but I'm gonna take a minute. So go ahead, Aiden.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna play our next thing here just because we have a few other segments to get through today. And I wanted to show this one next. So this was an Iranian funeral procession for the victims of the strike that I had covered on my previous show. And I wanted to show this because, surprise, surprise, you're not really going to find this anywhere in regular American media because they don't want to show the consequences of their actions. So let's take a look.
خیلی صدای تشویق میومد اصلا خیلی
هیدر
That's not the same school. This one was another one.
Sorry, you were saying something, Achilles?
Yeah, the school that they showed us from the inside, it was not that one. It was a school that got evacuated for safety, and then it got bombed. It happened like 3 days later. So,
so it's a different school that got completely
different school. Yeah, and this one.
And it wasn't 160 people; it was 160 children.
Right.
Among the adults that were also killed, 160 children between 8 and 13.
Just pointing out, it was an elementary school, 8 to 12 or 13 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lesson on dogs.
You know, I guess it's funny. It's funny. No, it's funny. But like, think about it though, right? I just
kind of cute. There's only one lap dog.
Oh, sorry for the oof.
Oh, the endless abyssal plane.
The Matrix.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The Matrix is everywhere.
Gotta leave the Matrix, bro. It's me, Andrew Tate. I broke away from the Matrix by trafficking a bunch of women, bro. No, but anyways, the freaking point that I was trying to make before I was rudely interrupted.
Again.
Rudely
You
interrupted.
were? Who did that?
I did.
It's anybody's guess.
Achilles. You're good, Peter. Go ahead.
I just disagree with the notion that Israel's like pulling the strings in reality behind the scenes. I think that Netanyahu is being used as a pawn in America's international strategic game. I don't think it's the other way around.
It's both. I think it's both, especially because the whole thing has to do with controlling the most rich in oil place of the earth, the richest one. And then you have Venezuela, which we took care of that one too. But overall, that's like the whole center of oil. So the whole existence of that state over there is about that. So it's both of them together.
Yeah, and I mean, like the 12%. I think it's about 12% of the global oil reserves are in Iran, and they're in a lot more readily accessible areas of Iran than the Venezuelan oil, which Trump himself is on record saying it's some of the worst oil in the world, folks. It's basically tar. It's basically tar. Yeah, and then the next fucking when it actually comes to taking over Venezuela, he's like, it's some of the best, folks, from the standpoint of asphalt roads. When you make asphalt roads, some of the best. It's just like, wow, dude. Anyways, moving on.
Again, you don't need to exaggerate, dude, at all. Like,
you don't.
The best comedian out there, all he needs to do today is come out on the camera and just look at the camera.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna start laughing. Like, yeah, I know, right? They don't even have to say anything.
It's true. Anyways, next segment. Oh, I thought I closed that. This one is the next segment.
So I'm working on a video, Aiden. I have the speeches of Mussolini and Hitler, and I'm putting them side to side to things that Trump has said.
Oh, I'll definitely premiere that on my channel as soon as you
like it.
Like me too.
I hope you like it.
No, I'll definitely put that out there. Yeah, just let me know when that's done, and I'll put that at the very beginning of one of my shows. I think I'll front load it because that sounds like it's you've always put out some pretty good content, Achilles. You know, I don't agree with all the content that you've put out there, but you always hold yourself to a pretty high standard when it comes to the content that you put out there, and I appreciate that. Anyways, going on to the next segment. I don't have a lot for Epstein.
Aiden would never say that about me.
Peter, I absolutely have said I'm throwing you out, Peter. You're getting deported, Peter. Somebody get the low profile deportation jet, not the one with the fancy bedroom. We need the one with the medieval dungeon built into the jet.
I want the one with the fancy bedroom. Come on.
No, you get the medieval dungeon jet.
I'm old. I deserve a fancy bedroom.
That's for Christy Nome, Peter. Oh wait, I just fired her. Never mind.
At least 2 days in the week, I'm not even allowed in my own because I did some stupid shit to people.
But the problem is that Peter is not in the US, but that's not a problem. We're going to go over there. We're going to pick him up. We're going to pick him up in the middle of the night, bring him over here.
You say that. You can say that, Achilles. Find me an American who knows where the Netherlands is. Then we'll talk.
Somewhere over in the Europistan or something like that. Hold on.
I just watched a video of someone who was asked where Europe was, and he pointed at Texas.
Dude, I was on an American university, and the professor was talking to us about the Roman Empire, and a girl turns to me and said, "Is Rome in Greece?" But no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's next to London. Everyone knows that.
Claude says,
You know, London, Aiden. That's where the Eiffel Tower is.
Yeah, Claude.
All right, Peter, I'm going to start pulling out the censorship hammer. If you interrupt me one more time, Peter, I've tried moving the show forward like 5 separate times. I've been like, all right, anyway, moving on. And Peter's like, hey, everybody, anyways, let me pontificate about this thing
That's
for
my
another
job.
5 minutes. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, your job is going to get Christy gnomed if you keep this up. How about that? No, Claude says Genta Lind is a big time Trump supporter. Looks for some of his speeches too. Well, thank you, Monsieur Bells, for your commentary on the live stream.
Until he figures out that Trump's not going to pardon him.
By the way, because you know how much I love Donald, when Ken Hovind still had a YouTube and Trump was not elected yet, he was in the campaign. He said that when Trump gets elected, I'm going to send him a letter and he's going to fix the whole court thing, for me. And I'm going to get my money back. And I was like, sure,
I mean,
sure.
He recently sent a new letter, Achilles, didn't you know?
No, I don't know, man. I mean, it's pretty dumb to think that. I mean, let me stop this war right now because there is a ministry that has a problem. And yeah, I'm not seeing that happening with this guy, man. I mean,
no.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 8 likes. Peter, you didn't even give me a like. No, you did. I'm just joking. I know you gave me a like. But you know what?
I was the second one.
I know.
I was the second one.
You were the second one. The likes were broken.
And then I was the second one again because I liked it a third time.
They rigged the like machines in Virginia. They've rigged them in Pennsylvania. They rigged them all over the place. You can't trust them. No, let's come on, ladies and gentlemen. We got 10 fine folk watching this show and 8 likes. I know you two are holding out. But at the end of the day, you're going to give me those likes. You know why you're going to give me those likes? Because it's in the spirit of goodwill and charity. Kind of like the spirit of goodwill and charity that Trump totally had when he out of the kindness of his heart, in a recently resurfaced video, he allowed a underage girl to shelter in his compound at Mar-a-Lago in spite of the fact that authorities were looking for her. Let's take a look at that. This was from 1991.
Mar-a-Lago has turned into Donald Trump's hideaway for tennis fugitive Monica Seles. Seles mysteriously disappeared after abruptly dropping out of the Wimbledon Championships 10 days ago, only to strangely resurface at Trump's palatial Florida estate. The mega developer reportedly invited the 17-year-old Yugoslav to stay at his home so she could avoid reporters trying to find out why she skipped the tournament. But why would Trump want to get involved in this? Could this eligible bachelor have met his match? The editor of Tennis Magazine could only guess.
Athletes attract all kinds of people. Say, we have a term for them called jock sniffers, which the term, people who feel somewhat bigger by hanging around with athletes or celebrities, and I think it doesn't matter what social status you're from.
Trump has been known to be a big tennis fan. In fact, he found himself in some trouble last year when he was squiring Argentine tennis star Gabriela Sabatini around his casino in Atlantic City. She was 19 years old, underage according to Jersey law. Trump was served with a fine.
Yeah, he just chronically hangs around these really young girls.
He loves tennis.
He just loves tennis. I'm just such a fan of tennis. These young aspiring women who all happen to be underage. I just hang around them because I'm just such a big fan of their work on the court.
Yeah, but sure. we know he loves sports. Like if you remember that moment in golf where he picks up the ball and moves it with his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, where he gets his caddies to throw one out.
That's why he likes the tennis girls. They've got bigger balls than him.
Ooh.
That was good, Peter. That's getting put into another short at some point in the future. You're getting a short, Peter. It's gonna be good. I know shorts, Peter, and you're short. It's gonna blow up. Anyways, we've got Jesse Ventura making a statement about modern America on our next segment of this particular program, unless somebody wants to make further commentary about the one that was just played. Peter, I'm looking at
Well,
you.
I can add one
Oh, Peter
thing.
has
So
more
there's
commentary. I'm so shocked.
Yes,
Everybody,
yes.
wow.
I'll tell you a Dutch joke. So workers play soccer. Then their immediate boss plays tennis. And the owner of the company, he plays golf. So that just means the higher up, the smaller the balls. That's how I got to the other joke.
Thank you very much, Peter, for the...
But since we're on jokes, here's something a Greek comedian said yesterday. A friend of mine forwarded it to me. He said that, yes, we need to get rid of the theocratic state because there is no room for theocratic states right now. We can't have theocracies. So let's get rid of them so we can give their land to those that God promised it to them.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Again, jokes today, you don't even have to try much, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And it's always this thin line between it would be fun if it wasn't so tragic.
By the way, Aiden, Odin is a little bit upset that I gave you sloppy seconds.
Odin is always upset.
He said it. He said it in the...
Dean's upset. Stop the fucking presses, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just joking. Let's listen to Mr. Ventura, because I mean, who cares about Jesse Ventura, right? It's not like he was a former Navy SEAL and, you know, former governor of Minnesota or anything like that. He's just some conspiracy nut that doesn't know what he's talking about, right? Anyways, let's listen.
You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf. Right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history. Anytime you have the loss of life that it needlessly happens, that's tragedy. And what occurred yesterday did not have to happen. You want to know?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong in the slightest. Jamie, dumbass. Yeah. Let's see. You know what, Jamie? Let's see you put on a fucking flak jacket. You know what? If you want to be one of the people that wants to saber rattle and say, let's go to war, then how about you put on a fucking helmet and a flak jacket, and let's see you fucking bail out of a goddamn Hercules fucking aircraft as it's 30,000 feet above Tehran, you fucking pussy. Let's see it. Let's see it. Because unless I see you fucking volunteer or get drafted, and I see grainy footage of you on some fucking Iranian hillside somewhere, I don't want to hear you say shit or fuck about Jesse Ventura's fucking take about that, you lily-livered fucking sissy bitch. Get out of here.
I mean, Jamie does stand up for the Republic, which is a banana republic.
Well, he thinks he stands up for the Republic, but then he doesn't realize that there's an asterisk that says Republican Party, and then on top of that asterisk, it's just Trump. It's just Trump. That's all he's standing up for. Anyways.
And it is double. The disappointment is double for Christians to see Christians fall for that little asterisk there and not seeing it. It's so disappointing. Oh, and by the way, Aiden, I do stand by the statement earlier that said that I see people like you understanding the message of the Bible way better than Republicans, because you understand that you cannot use the book of Revelation to excuse yourself into a war and say Jesus told Trump. I mean, what is going on with Christians today, dude? They're not seeing this.
They're doomsday. They're extremists, dude. They're extremists. Unfortunately,
Achilles.
they're extremists.
Achilles. Yeah, you haven't heard. There were 2 Corinthians who told Trump that he could do it.
2 Corinthians, you think back to 2 Corinthians.
I
That's
met
my
them both.
favorite passage. I met them both. I know Corinthians, folks, and those 2 Corinthians.
Dude, I'm gonna go to Corinth. I'm gonna find both of them and shoot them.
What I love to do, I love to go to Yosemite National Park, and I love to read 2 Corinthians at Yosemite National Park. Fucking idiot.
And I don't know.
Come to think of it, Trump does pronounce.
Again, you know what? Once again, Peter trying to censor Claude for the second time. The only 2 times in recent history that I've been trying to read Claude's quotes on stream. And what does Peter do? He goes, "Oh, hey, everybody, I have something to say, too." No, we're not going to silence Claude on this live stream, Peter. I won't have it. I won't tolerate it. Mr. Balls says, "Aidan Linden, 9661. Why not tell us what you really think?" All right, Claude. Well, what I really think is beep, 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 beep,
So
beep.
censored, Claude. So censored.
That's what I
Like
really
we can have a bot to bot discussion here, like beep beep beep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that YouTube hasn't quite gotten around to censoring telegraphy yet. We're going to have to get to the point where I'm just going to have to broadcast smoke signals. I'm just going to have to communicate through like a live camera that broadcasts different smoke signals that communicate what I'm thinking.
After what happened with Twitter and with TikTok, do you know why they haven't bought YouTube yet? Because they own it already, Aiden. It's Google, dude. And they were right there at the inauguration, right?
Can't buy what they already own.
Yeah, free speech, yo.
Yep. Because I'm proud to not be an American, where at least I know I'm freer than them. That's the new version. That's the updated version.
Which also brings in my mind to say this. Americans that are watching this, you're on the internet. I don't know if you understand how big it is. And right here on this stream, you have 3 people from 3 different countries that are not American. So if you don't like what we're saying, you can just close this tab and go watch something American. I don't know. Go ahead. Or go to foxnews.com.
Dargesh with a very insightful comment. Peter, you're allowed to speak now.
Okay. Well, I mean, you knew what I was going to say, right?
I do. Of course, I know what you were
If you make the fun of Trump saying Yosemite Park, I mean, he went to the same school of pronunciation you went to.
No, you know what the difference is? Is that Yosemite is literally not only a regularly known thing through Yosemite Sam, but it's literally from the country that he came from. If I'm fucking not pronouncing Thorbjorn Jagland or whatever the fucking hell his name was.
Hold on. Brie Arthur, not Bria Arthur, was a golden girl. I mean...
And that matters to me how? How is that relevant to me?
She was famous. I know
famous fucking 40 years ago.
I know for a fact that more than 93 people watched her
if you were talking
every
to
week.
Big Bad Mama right now, right? That'd be a really good point that you were making. Like, oh yeah, this character from 40 years ago, you should know all about him. I wasn't alive, Peter. I didn't exist. I wasn't even a wink in my daddy's ball sack yet at that point. And you're like, oh,
That's
why doesn't
why
he know
you
about
still
the
have
GoPro?
reruns of that show to this day.
But you know what I did say, right? I have no fucking clue.
And as I said, more than 93 people watched her.
Ooh, damn.
That deserves a kick, Peter.
Damn. You know what? I'm gonna be the bigger man. I'm gonna be the bigger
Take
man.
the high
which is
road,
not-
Aiden.
That's right. That's right. You take the low road and I'll take the high road, and you'll be kicked out by morning. Don't worry, you'll be out. You'll be out in due time, Peter. How to have free speech when you're still muted? Translation. I just had the ability. I would just put like 5 to 10 crying emojis as the direct translation of that.
It's just telling. They talk about having free speech while having me muted.
Sorry,
Irony.
what? What was that? Sorry, you were having a bit of a connection problem there for a second. I think we got it restored.
There.
All right. So, in the next segment of the fact that this
By the way,
slowly...
before you
I
have great.
You're not allowed. No, you're not allowed. Sorry, Peter. Sorry. Free speech taken yet again. Can we have a Peter free speech removal counter somewhere on the stream? I think that's something I need to incorporate. Like a Peter mute.
The Congress.
Look, if I could give myself the Stream Medal of Honor right now, folks, I would for what I just did to Peter. I would. You know, I just saved the whole stream. We've got agitators out here like Peter DeTucker. He's out here, he's trying to interrupt the flow of the stream. And yet I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to let people like Dargesh enjoy this stream the way that it's meant to be enjoyed. I'm not going to let you interrupt, Peter. I'm sorry to say.
Did you see that he scored himself today? Did you hear that?
He what?
He scored himself about the whole campaign on Iran.
Oh, 15. I didn't see that. No, I didn't.
Yeah, he gave himself 15 out of 10. Again, that is a quote.
Wow.
Yep.
The humblest guy, by the way. I'm the humblest guy. I think I might be one of the humblest people.
And not just that, dude. Just it's math. Don't read it that way, dude.
Yeah.
Like when he said that I'm gonna take the price of medicine down by 1,000%.
600%, 1,000%. That's right, Achilles. Instead of paying $100 for your medication, we're gonna give you $1,000 for your medication. Like what?
And then what he did is he's trying to force Europe to raise their medicine by 900%. And if they don't, they're gonna tariff them. So
wow.
Yeah, that's a promise kept.
Art of the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Art of the deal.
We're gonna pay less. The others are gonna pay more. That's it.
Fuck them, we got ours. That's our official slogan. No, Dargesh says #freeze peach. I agree. #freeze peach. Let's get that trending. Can we please get that trending? I might actually make that the next title of my stream.
It is pretty good.
It is pretty fantastic, I must say. I need to go find like a frozen peach for a thumbnail. That's good.
Okay, so update me on this. What am I reading here? What's going on?
So, yes, thank you very much for bringing us back to the at least somebody on this panel is trying to focus on the subject. Peter! Fuck, sorry, something in my throat there. Yeah, and yet another example of the fact that 1 year into this administration, we have yet another instance of Trump's appointees just kind of either getting completely shamed out of the public eye to the point where he has to fire them, or in this instance, DHS launches investigation into Greg Bovino's alleged remarks about Jewish lawyer, report states. You know, I can't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. I really can't. I can't believe that the guy that goes around dressed like this all the time, I can't believe this guy is making anti-Semitic remarks about Jewish people, you know? I mean, maybe he just liked the fashion sense of the group of people that went around dressed like that. I don't know. It's surely just coincidence, right?
I heard from one of the liberal comedy shows of the U.S. This, so I'm quoting. It was Jon Stewart, I think, and he said, "You know what you could do? Have either the haircut or the coat. Don't combine them. Like,
yeah,
if you don't want to be called Gestapo, just pick one of the two. Like, change your hair though to some, like, I don't know, orange something like Trump, or just change clothes. Don't have both, dude."
You're just actively inviting the comparison at that point. Like, there's no other way around it. But in any case, the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, has opened an international, gosh, let me try to actually, like, get my head a shake there for a second.
It was hard. It was internal investigation, sorry.
They're opening up an intermittent investigation, folks. Sometimes they're investigating, sometimes they're not. Anyways.
Interdimensional. Intergalactic.
They're opening it up an interracial investigation, folks. They're looking into it from every racial angle. No. The Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, has opened an internal investigation into allegations that Gregory Bovino, a senior Border Patrol official, made disparaging remarks about the Jewish faith of Minnesota's top federal prosecutor, the New York Times reported. Bovino, who became the public face of the heavily scrutinized immigration crackdown in Minnesota that left 2 U.S. citizens dead at the hands of federal agents, allegedly mocked federal prosecutor Daniel Rosen during a January phone call with state prosecutors. According to the Times, Bovino allegedly made sarcastic comments about Rosen's observance of Shabbat, the weekly period of rest from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, and used the phrase chosen people in a derisive tone during the 12th January call. The call came from Bovino requested a meeting. The call came after Bovino requested a meeting with Rosen to push the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office into a stronger response toward criminalizing people who Bovino believed were impeding federal agents from enforcing the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in the state, the Times reported on Saturday. On Tuesday, the Times reported that John Breckenridge, I think that's pretty accurate, a special investigator with Customs and Border Protection, had launched an quote-unquote official inquiry into the allegation that Bovino made unprofessional comments. Breckenridge contacted the Times seeking assistance with the inquiry, but did not say whether other aspects of Bovino's conduct were under review. Quote, following a letter from a congressman inquiring about reporting on anonymous allegations, CBP opened an internal inquiry to determine the full story, a DHS spokesperson said in a statement to The Guardian. Quote, this is standard procedure and does not, in all caps, indicate any confirmation of wrongdoing. Bovino was ultimately removed as head of Operation Metro Surge after federal immigration agents fatally shot Renee Good and Alex Preddy. By the way, Operation Metro Surge. You know what? Where does the term surge, for anybody that's familiar with recent American military operations, where does that come to mind? You know, we actually know somebody in this community. You know, he's really disliked by some people, but whether you like him or dislike him, he's a veteran from a conflict known as the Surge. It was a military operation that was conducted in Iraq between 2007 and 2008 in order to bolster American military presence within Iraq. So yeah, the idea that Operation Metro Surge is being used here isn't necessarily a coincidence when you take military history of recent American military operations into account.
Oh yeah, we don't. You guys don't want to go there, you know. Like even if we do, you're gonna understand why Iran is chanting "Death to America," because it is the U.S. that messed the whole thing up, started a coup, then bribed another country to start a war, and then they invaded that same country. They backstabbed it. So the whole thing, like, it's better to not get into that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't just come out of nowhere saying "Death to America."
No, they didn't. And, shout out to the people in the community like Robin, who were on your channel when people like Dan were trying to act like, oh, these people just want to act like America or that Iran just, like, woke up one day as a country and decided that America is a horrible place. And Robin came in and said, no, that's not true. There's a complicated history that's there where they do have a legitimate grievance against the American government for what they did. And they're taking away of their democratic ability to decide who actually led that country in favor of somebody that would give them a more favorable deal in the OPEC international oil trade. Like, it's just so obvious. I expect royalties, says Dargesh. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, as soon as I get any kind of monetization, which I am certainly not trying to be looking for right now, I think like 90% of my streams have some form of like copyright on them. So even if I did monetize my channel, it would basically all go to those companies. And I don't care, because that's not what I'm about here. If I have to show things that get copyright, as long as it's not something that takes my channel down, I don't care. The fact that people are informed about it is way more important than whatever fucking monetization I would get out of this channel. But if I do ever get a pittance from monetization, Dargesh, I will send some your way. Worry you not. Worry you not.
If Aiden gets monetized, he'll have to pay YouTube.
I'll have to start paying them back. I'll just say, like, I'm sorry, YouTube.
I'm just taking my revenge. You will see when you will put us back on screen again. You will see my revenge.
Uh-oh.
Revenge.
Revenge. What?
Oh, shit. The muted counter. It has not been 5. It has not been 5 on the live.
Oh, I forgot one. Okay, hold on. There you go. And because you laugh at it, there.
Oh.
Hey, read that.
You said we needed it. I already had that.
Looks like a
I just hadn't put it on there yet.
Here's my thumbnail. I expect royalties too. Fuck. Everybody's coming after me now. Everybody's coming after me.
Aiden,
Hold on. So that means that I'm getting royalties?
No. No, I don't have anything left to give at this point. I'm sorry. You
well, remind me, who made today's thumbnail?
You were the last
who made
vulture to
today's
the carcass, Peter. I'm sorry. It was already picked.
Who made today's thumbnail? See, even my bird agrees.
Even if you as the vulture can claim that you took part in the kill, you were last to the corpse, dude. I'm sorry, it already got picked clean. Phantom was the last one that made off with the little freaking bits that were left. If you want to go after anybody, go after Phantom at this point. That's all I got.
Got a piggy bank.
That's all I got to say. Runs out the back door with all the money. No, I'm just joking. I got away with it, folks.
By the way, that only happens what you said with monetization, that companies get their your revenue. It only happens with music, not on anything you're saying. So the only thing that can affect your monetization is that if you say something that YouTube doesn't like, they can cut your monetization on that video, which in people like you and I, we wouldn't give a shit. Like totally, but others are very careful what to say because this is, they're looking at this from a business perspective. Like, I'm a YouTuber.
I might make some money off of this.
I'm an influencer,
Yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true because I demonetized a video of Standing for Truth one day.
Why?
Because he was using my video.
I mean, that's
And I told
fair,
him
then.
he could put it on his channel if he didn't monetize it, and if he would wait for 14 days after it went live on my channel. So he put it up the next
Did he
day.
add
Not only
commentary to it, though?
monetized it, but he took super chats.
But did
So
he add
I had
commentary to the video, though?
nope.
Okay.
Nope.
That's really my only critique would be, is if he added commentary to it, then I would say that's kind of fucked up if you took his monetization away. But if he didn't even bother to add commentary
Well,
to it...
he was the guest of the show.
Oh,
why would he
I
add
see.
commentary to
I thought
himself?
you said that you demonetized Standing for Truth. So...
Yes, because he copied the show from my channel and put it on his and monetized it.
Right. Which is why I was saying that if he added commentary onto what you said, which is what I do, like, for example, when I cover Lupin, right? If I just played Lupin's content and didn't say anything when I covered it
Lupin?
whatsoever.
Hasn't Lupin been deported yet?
Unfortunately, no, I'm just kidding. No, unironically, if Lupin actually was going to get deported, I would say that that's fucked up, and I would say that's wrong. Because I don't care how much people want to beef.
Yeah, I'd say FAFO. I'd say FAFO, but I'm Dutch.
It's still injustice, though, man. It's still injustice if it happens.
Yeah, if you vote for it, though.
Yeah, but even if you vote for it, that doesn't mean that he necessarily realized the full implications of what was happening, right? So if he got wrongfully deported, if he was born
okay,
in the United States,
now you're just being silly.
I'm not being silly. I'm not.
Yes, as if he's got the faculties to realize anything. I mean, that's just mean.
All right, you're right. My bad. I'll back off.
First off, as long as he has the same mentality that he has today, he ain't ever gonna get deported. So don't worry about it.
I mean, you say that, but there were plenty of people. I mean, think about other examples of ideologies taking control over societies, right? Like if you look at the revolution that took place in Russia, one of the first groups that they went after were socialist organizations that helped participate in that revolution. The same's true for the National Socialists as well. They had a whole bunch of socialists that joined in the early phases of the National Socialist movement that then got culled from the movement pretty soon after they immediately seized power, right? So I think, unfortunately, when you look at these transitions that occur in history to these extremist ideologies, there is almost invariably a culling of people that initially thought they were going to ride the wave of that revolution and they're going to be at the forefront of it and benefit from it, just like all these other people. And turns out they either get deported or they get killed, is usually what ends up happening under those circumstances. And I hope neither does happen to him, because our stupid internet beef isn't worth any of that shit whatsoever. I don't want him deported, but he would still blame Dems if he was deported. He probably would. He probably would, Dargesh. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about that in the slightest if he blamed Dems, but I would still be sitting there going, no, that's fucked up. He should be allowed to be in this country. He was born in America, so he should be a naturalized citizen according to the Constitution. I mean, it's funny, the whole, deport Lupin joke. I get it. It's pretty funny. It's fun to meme on, but I just figured, for clarification's sake, I would just say that, if that actually happened, which unfortunately is a possibility,
It would be so funny if he got deported and then Cuba sent him back because he pees in pools. That would be so funny.
May I intervene, because one thing I don't like much is going into these rants that I don't think they're offering much today. So I'm sharing a clip which, before I share it on your channel, I took a minute to transfer it to my upload location, and I uploaded it on my channel unlisted so I can check if it is any copyright issue with it. It has nothing, so it's free to play.
Okay.
And the Matrix. Nope, that's not. Nope. All right. For those that don't know their history, I'm gonna play this actually slower, not by much, but it's a lot of info to digest. So, okay, here it is. Let's just go.
Media Player Classic?
I'm sorry?
I said Media Player Classic?
Yeah, baby.
It's the only player. It's the only player.
And
Crank it up just to make sure that people can hear. Yeah, VLC's legit. I will never hear anybody.
No, that's not VLC. It's Media Player Classic.
No, I know. I'm saying
better.
that VLC is also legit. Hey, VLC is a good program, and the person that made it is a real G for allowing it to be supported for free even to this day, even though he could have made a crap load of money off of it. Anyways, let's watch this.
Media
Peter,
Player Classic is free, and it comes with a ton of
don't make me
codecs.
increase that number. I'm going to bump that number up.
And he's right, Peter. Peter is right. And what I like about Media Player Classic is that I get at the bottom of it, it tells me the bitrate of each video.
Yep.
So when I play, when I put like 3 videos, one on top of the other, my editing style, I know the final bitrate that this would be, and only Media Player allows me to have that. VLC doesn't. It's a great player. It's free. Comes with codecs. So yeah. Tell me if you have audio, brother. If it's too loud, let me know to take it down.
Sounds good.
The Shah of Persia has been paying a state visit to President Truman.
Perfect.
More than 80 years.
What up?
Oh, I said perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, we've got audio.
Sounds good. Sounds perfect.
Presidents have put an unusual focus on Iran. Iran. Beginning in World War II, Britain and the United States used Iran to funnel weapons to help Russia fight Nazi Germany. Successive presidents hosted, supporting, and applauding the Shah, Mohammad Pahlavi. In 1952, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower authorized Operation Ajax, giving the CIA authority to launch a coup along with the British to restore the Shah to power.
To launch a what, Aiden?
I think. Sorry, I think the audio cut out there.
It's a French. It's a French word. He will pronounce his coup.
I would. You know what? I'm not Brett Keane. Thank you very much. I'm not Brett Keane. It's so funny. He does say that. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna start a coup in Iran in this situation." So yeah, I can't. Peter, you've said that I've insulted you by comparing me to people, but that is a worse insult than I've ever given to you.
That's a French word. We all know that you can't pronounce French words.
It's a coup.
All right, order in the class. Order in the class. So what?
Mute him again. No, it's a coup. It's a
coup. And it is the CIA under Eisenhower that started it, right? And I just want to point out something that is not in this video, is that Khamenei, who we just killed at 87, all we had to do is like wait. He would just die at some point. But we had to organize a whole like
we had to make him a martyr.
Yeah, right? At his 87, who else becomes a martyr at 87? Anyway, but by the way, since you said that, I heard a joke about those 40 virgins. When they saw that he got martyred, they were like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, I can't help but feel bad for them. I can't help but feel pretty bad.
The problem with that is depending on which book you read about it. So it could be 72 virgins. It could also be 72 raisins. And if it's virgins, then it's not real women. They're specially made kind of sex robots. So
anyway, they were definitely waiting for this martyr.
God, it's so the joke is always so much funnier when you explain it, Peter.
Yeah, I mean,
good context.
No, I know.
It's not fun, so
I know
stuff like that anyway. But what I want to point out here is that Khamenei is the son of Khomeini, and the CIA organized a coup against his father, got somebody else in power, and they put Khamenei in jail because he was the son of the legitimate president of the country. So when the other things that this video is going to show us took place, the revolution happened in Iran, and they brought him out of jail and they made him president. That's why he means so much to the Iranians. This is something that Americans don't even care to look into and understand. But that's what it is. That's the story. I mean, it's CIA again, again, and again, and again, and again, and like whatever. If I just pick a random country and say, why is it effed up? You should just say CIA. Like, you should not even ask.
One thing you didn't point out yet is before they put the Shah back into power, it was a democracy.
Oh, yeah. And a democracy that the whole planet was envying.
Yes.
Like, whoever visited Iran back then was like, whoa, dude. Look at the road. Look at the buildings. Like, they were more advanced than Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to take care of that, right?
I mean, the Mongols had to decimate the Iranians at their cultural peak at one point, and now it was America's turn to be the new Mongol.
Right. And which I also want to point out, I'm not anti-American. I mean, I'm anti-Europe too. Europe is as guilty as the US in neo-colonialism. And what we mean by neo-colonialism is post-World War II. But it all happened under the radar. No media coverage over Africa, over South America. You would just be silent about that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep playing this.
Authority to launch a...
Is it too annoying at 0.75%? Should I go?
Yeah, let's go back to full. Let's go back to full.
Full is a little too fast for our brothers in the US.
All right. Let's go to 90 then. Let's go to 90.
Giving the CIA authority to launch a coup along with the British to restore the Shah to power after the Prime Minister, Mohammed Mossadegh, sought to nationalize the country's oil industry.
What? Nationalize the oil?
No, we can't have that. We can't have that. If they nationalize their oil, then these giant freaking But then what's BP gonna do?
Right.
What's Shell gonna do? What are these giant oil conglomerates gonna do?
Hey, don't pick on the Dutch.
Their share of the oil that doesn't belong to them.
Well, what about?
Don't pick on the Dutch. I had an uncle who worked for Shell.
Proudly pick on the Dutch.
How can they treat Exxon like that?
I know. These poor giant oil conglomerates that just want to suck this country of any resource dry that it possibly can. I mean, like,
and they wanna keep it to themselves because it's in their land.
No, Achilles, you need to understand, okay? You need to understand that wealth that those giant oil billionaires are going to make is going to trickle down, okay? It's going to trickle down to people like you and me. And then people like us are going to be able to have a fair shot at becoming people like them too, right?
Right.
By the way, I have no problem with Exxon getting beat up on. I mean, I had a friend who had a company. He started a company selling awnings, and he called it in Dutch Exxon. And then Exxon came and made him change the name into Sun X because it looked like their name. I'm not kidding. This is a real story. So,
Black hole
fuck Exxon.
Sun. No, I'm not going to sing
Fuck
that.
Exxon.
My stream's going to get taken down. You know my last stream, by the way? Horribly censored. Yeah. Russia and Belarus. They can't watch my video. They can't watch it. My giant Russian and Belarusian audience that's out there.
That's probably because it keeps happening. I've been playing with copyright issues for like, I don't know, 10 years. And it started happening right after the war. And it has to do with music. It is some music that you've played in that video, which belongs to a studio.
Yep.
So what you gotta do is just go mute that song, because I bet you didn't play a song on purpose. It was on some background thing.
It is worse. It is worse. I make artwork for people. And what I used to do, I used to have customers. And when customers needed music, I would buy in bulk. So I could give away most of the music that I had bought and paid for from Audio Jungle. Recently, Audio Jungle sold the rights of tons of music to a new party, which means that the people who have intros from me can get a strike because they no longer have the license to play the music that I paid for that license, which is now no longer valid.
You see what's happening, folks? You see what's happening? Peter's trying to entrap
and
them. He's going, oh, Aiden, I'm going to make all this stuff for you, and then it's going to get taken away. That's what's happening. No,
And by the way,
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I had a by the way, but I forgot about it.
Aiden, I can help you out. I have a composer that will make music,
AI music
just for not AI. He's got an entire band, and he's made music for Arn Ra. He's made music for Sue Ann Brown, who plays Hathor in Stargate. So we made Stargate-like music that they can't give a copyright strike.
Let me ask you this, which is on subject, on like what we've been going back and forth here. So are you saying that you might be having a contract, and then when that contract gets sold to another company, that contract no longer stands, although you had signed for it?
Yes. Yes.
Sounds like a lot like the immigration policies of the US to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to be here with your green card, folks, but no, you're actually not. We're gonna get you out of the country now and deport you to El Salvador, where you don't even come from. Like, what a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. What a nightmare, man. Whenever you're ready, guys.
Yeah, let's play it.
More here. Let's go.
After the Prime Minister, Mohamed Mossadegh sought to nationalize the country's oil industry. President Eisenhower then sought to bolster the Shah with the Atoms for Peace program in 1957, giving Iran highly enriched uranium and training its scientists.
Give him what, Aiden? I didn't just hear highly enriched uranium.
Oh, no. That's what the bad guys are the people that do that, though. Killer.
Yeah, right?
The bad guys are the people that do that. That's not what the good guys do.
No.
In hopes that it would encourage civilian use and not lead to building a nuclear weapon.
Well, that was a high hope.
Yeah.
I'll give the
Remember the good old days when you could still have hope?
I'll give
that
the
was
bad
enough.
guy a gun. I'm sorry, Peter. I'll give the bad guy a gun for hunting.
I would say the most charitable version you could possibly make for that argument is be like, all right, here you go. I'm going to give you the sights, and I'm going to give you the trigger mechanism, and I'm going to give you the bullets, and I'm going to give you the magazine, and I'm going to give you all the components, but I'm not going to put it together for you. You better not build this into a gun. All right? I'm just telling you that right now. Like, okay. All right.
Go ahead, Peter. We interrupted you this time.
No. It's okay.
Hey, everybody, look over here. Hey, everybody, it's me. Eh?
I'm just adding another mute there. Now we're up to 8.
Mute yourself and make it 8.
Yeah,
I made
that's
it
what
8.
he's gonna do. He's gonna start spamming it, and then he's gonna finish the stream going, "I got muted 174 times, guys. Look at that." It's gonna be like, "What?" All right, let's play this. We gotta play this.
And
Pay
not
attention, class.
a nuclear weapon.
Our defense, therefore, will be stronger if, under appropriate security safeguards, we share with our allies certain knowledge of the tactical use of our nuclear weapons.
President John F. Kennedy welcomed the Shah to Washington. President Richard Nixon and President Jimmy Carter even visited Tehran.
Iran, because of the great leadership of the shelf is an island of stability.
A show of U.S. support for the increasingly authoritarian Shah, who in 1979 fled the country, and Ayatollah Khamenei took power of the newly named Islamic Republic of Iran. In November of 1979, when President Carter allowed the Shah to come to the U.S. for medical treatment, students took over the U.S. Embassy, taking 52 Americans hostage. That and a botched rescue all but assured Carter's defeat to Ronald Reagan. The hostages were released as soon as he took office.
What? They didn't kill them?
What?
Because I heard Trump saying that they've been killing Americans.
They just kill them nonstop. That's all they do. They're bloodthirsty maniacs over there, over in Iran. That's all they are over there, folks. Yeah.
So the presidency changed, and they gave the hostages back. All right. And those were just students, Iranian students. They just stormed the embassy and took hostages. And when the government changed, they gave them back. That sounds humane to me. Making a political statement the wrong way, but still proving you're not a murderer. You're not a terrorist. You're not a killer. Politics is politics. And if it gets too bad, some students have to act. It is students in Greece that tried to stop the dictatorship.
You know what the crazy thing is, Achilles? Is that even when... Sorry, finish what you were saying. Finish what you were saying.
The only thing I had to add was that the dictatorship had tanks, so it stormed the university with a tank, and it didn't end up well. But it is the famous insurrection of 1974 in Polytechnio, means university in Greece. And we have footage of the tank storming the door that was filled with students. They were on the door, climbed on top of the bars, and you see a tank storming through and everybody falling down. So yeah, the dictatorship won, but students have high hopes.
Right.
We've all,
and
right?
even though you just gave all that context, and even though you said that wasn't the right way of doing things and clarified that, I already know for a fact that if indeed any of these people that are critical of us watch this, the conclusion that they're going to come to is just basically, oh, you're trying to basically say Ayatollah's a great guy and that the Iranian government is amazing. It's like, no, the whole point that we're trying to make is that the reason, or at least one of the major reasons, why the Ayatollah and the Iranian government and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard and this horrible regime exists the way that it does is because of American interventionism within that region. That's all that's trying to be demonstrated here.
Is my screen still up? Because I got disconnected.
No, you're good. Okay. You're good. Go ahead and play it.
And yeah, they're also going to say, yeah, but they have uranium. Well, who gave it to them? Who trained their scientists? Huh? The Russians.
Yeah. There's only other bad people. They're probably brown too. It's like, oh god, that's probably what he would say. Say something along those lines.
I know the last one was so natural. Maybe it was. Let's go.
My fellow Americans.
During President Reagan's time in office, the U.S. secretly supported Iraq in its war with Iran, providing intelligence and economic aid to the Iraqi.
Wait, pause.
What?
Who is in charge of Iraq at that point during the war with Iran? Who was that again? I think it was...
Honestly, that is fake news. That is fake news. I mean, everyone who's looking at America today knows for a fact that they can do everything but support with intelligence.
I know.
That's not a thing anymore.
Hey, that's nowadays, but think about it, right? The war in Iraq, between Iraq and Iran happened, and I believe that was the late 80s. So,
Hold on,
I mean,
that's nowadays. That's nowadays. We're looking
that's not
at
nowadays.
a cowboy.
That's
We're
not
looking
nowadays.
at a
I know that just a
cowboy
moment ago.
actor.
I know that just a moment ago, Peter, you were trying to cite the idea that me not understanding something that fucking came out over 40 years ago is somehow a crazy idea.
The guy on screen is a cowboy actor.
Yeah. And you know what? And yet at the same time, he was a way better statesman than Trump ever was.
Yeah, but
trickle down economics.
Because
I've never said better president. I said better statesman.
Okay, because you guys went here. Let me ask something. First, let me say that I think this is the first time in world history that the elite discovered that all we need for a president is for him to be an actor. So let's try the first. I think he was the first actor, and then everybody else after him are just acts. They're just acting.
They're just second rate. I mean, like, at least he's an A-lister.
So
at least freaking Reagan was an A-lister. He's got.
So let me ask you this. What do you see if you have this picture and the picture of Trump next to him? Can you compare those two pictures and tell me the similarities? I'll help like go to my point because you can't guess what I'm getting to. Okay, first off, Republicans. Wink, wink, right? Republicans and war, like, mwah, just hand in hand, those two go. All right. Number two, this guy too said that Iran is weak right now. How long did the Iran-Iraq war last?
It was
eight friggin' years.
I was gonna say at least 6, but I guess it was even longer than that. Yeah, and it was some of the most intense trench warfare that was ever experienced in a post-World War I, if not the most intense trench warfare ever experienced. It was the introduction of chemical warfare within that region happened during that conflict. And who was it that introduced chemical warfare during that conflict? I think it was the guy that was being sponsored by, it was China. China was the one that did it. That's right. No, I'm pretty sure that it was Shmadam Gubain, I think was his name. Yeah, Shmadam Gubain got funded by this guy.
Who gave those chemicals? Who gave those chemicals to him too?
Yeah. Yeah. And then and you know what the funny thing is? Just real quick, Achilles.
Go ahead.
These chemicals were given to Saddam. They were given to him in order to better facilitate the war between Iran. And then America will turn around and say those very fucking chemicals that they gave to Iraq, now we need to go into that country and tear that country apart because now they have these weapons of mass destruction. All those news reports that came out back in the day of these like rolling chemical laboratories of like all these places manufacturing these chemicals, and they'd like show footage of like these chemicals being used and wouldn't explain to people that that footage literally came from this exact war that we're talking about right now. They would play it out of context and they would try to fearmonger and say they're getting ready to deploy these chemical weapons on the American Eastern Seaboard. It was real. They were trying to claim that.
Which has been made a joke by Bill Hicks in his 1 hour segment in the UK, which was called The Revelations, I think it was called. And he said, we know Iraq has amazing weapons. How do you know, sir? We looked at the receipt.
Yeah, and it's the exact same playbook that's being used in Iran right now. America creates the problem in the region, and then as soon as the fucking surprise, the fucking regime that they originally gave that shit to doesn't want to cooperate anymore, doesn't want to play ball the way that America wanted them to, then they need to blame that exact fucking problem that they created and use that as their reason to go and bomb the fucking shit out of them and kill 1 million goddamn people in the case of
and
Iraq.
kill those that survived from the war that we made them have. Let's go bomb them now.
Yeah.
By the way, Bill Hicks was a real, something between a revolutionary figure and a prophet, because all the things that he has said, we see them taking place again and again and again. At some point, he said, you've probably heard in the news that they're not bombing the military of Iran, they're bombing the Revolutionary Guards.
Right.
So it reminds me of what they were saying about Iraq in 2004, that they were saying that we still haven't faced the elite Republican Guard. And people were, ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What are these? You know, the elite Republican Guard. So after 2 years of like bombing the shit out of Iraq and no Republican Guard like ever appeared, then we changed on the media, they changed the elite Republican Guards to just Republican Guards. The elite it wasn't as elite as we made you believe they were, right? And then they probably changed the whole Republican Guards to Republicans make that shit up from the beginning. So Bill Hicks, dude, Bill Hicks, man. I mean, seriously, if you haven't looked into Bill Hicks, you just gotta.
No, I've seen a few routines. He's a great comedian. I love Bill Hicks. But anyway, I just wanted to say that this is also the playbook that's being used by Israel right now when it comes to Gaza. When it comes to the fact that, every single time that there's a fucking hospital that's bombed, it's always, there's a Hezbollah camp that's underneath it. That's why we bombed it. Every single time that a fucking historic site, including major Christian historic sites, are bombed, it's always, there just happened to be a major freaking Hezbollah camp that was just right there. There happened to be a freaking
and they've
freedom fighter camp right there. Like, no.
They've left no building standing, and you threw that up in a couple of shows earlier, that if you told me this was a moon landscape, I would believe you. That's Gaza. So that means there were terrorists underneath every building,
every one of them,
schools, hospitals, I mean, dog shelters.
Lots of them just happen to be children as well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, Achilles. They feel so bad about it, which is why they keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Dargesh says, I was flying and the TSA pulled me aside. They pulled out my protractor, calculator, and graph paper and said that I had weapons of math instruction. I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, Dargesh. I'm sorry to hear. Let's get back to this video.
Yeah, because we can keep going for hours.
Yeah. Oh, we could. We could just endlessly go about that.
Intelligence and economic aid to the Iraqi military. In 1983, the U.S. blamed Hezbollah, backed by Iran, for bombing the Marine barracks, killing 241 Marines. It was later uncovered that the Reagan administration was also secretly selling weapons to Iran in order to fund rebels in Nicaragua. And in 1988, tensions increased when the U.S. Navy accidentally shot down an Iranian passenger jet, killing the 290 people on board. Modern presidents continued to try to pressure Iran with increasing sanctions, but after the September 11th attacks, then President George W. Bush put Iran high on the nation's enemies list, including it along with North Korea and Iraq in the axis of evil.
Iran aggressively pursues these weapons and exports terror, while an unelected few repress the Iranian people's hope.
You know what? Pause this. You know what the fucking insane thing is? Is that this guy, this numpty, is sitting in front of the American people right now, and he's going, Iran is a place that exports exports terror around the world. It exports it everywhere that you look. Everywhere you look, there's an Iranian somewhere that's going to try and take you out. I promise you that right now. No, he's sitting there trying to blame Iran, and meanwhile, where the fuck was Osama bin Laden hiding? Was he hiding in Afghanistan? Nope. Was he hiding in Iraq? Nope. Was he hiding in Syria? Nope. Was he hiding in Iran? Nope. He was hiding in fucking Pakistan, the place that America had been pouring shitloads of fucking money into in order to fucking fund and support their government, and the real fucking statistically accurate exporter of global terror at that point on the world stage. But America wants to just ignore the fact that they poured billions of dollars in funding into a fucking government that subsequently turned around and fucking radicalized a shitload of people to go and attack the United States. Never mind that.
No.
Yep.
No, that's incorrect.
Yep.
What?
No, they knew where he was based on American intelligence. That it.
Which, by the way,
I wasn't saying that they didn't know where he was. I was saying that Bush was making the claim that Iran was the
you were
global
saying that
exporter of terror.
they told that Osama bin Laden was here, and then he was there, and then he was there. All of those.
Peter. They used the excuse that bin Laden was there to go and invade those countries. Do you think Israel was just totally unaware every single time they destroyed a fucking hospital or destroyed a school or destroyed a historic site? Do you think every single time they just didn't know that the intelligence that they supposedly had, that there was a fucking camp there of fucking radicals that are just drooling at the idea of slaughtering innocent and Israeli people? You know, do you think that they really believe that every single time they perpetrate it? I'm not saying that they genuinely believed it. I'm saying they used it as a pretext. All right? You're unmuted. You can say something.
Another one.
That is another one. 175.
By the way, it was under this administration that you can see a person next to Bush who was a CIA high-ranking officer who then put a turbine on his, not a turbine, a wind turbine, nor an airplane turbine, a turbine as the thing that the Muslims are wearing on their heads, right? He put
Islamic turbine on the situation. Sorry, go ahead.
He put one of those on his head and became the president of Pakistan. And you can find that and see that person in Michael Moore's documentary Fahrenheit 9/11. So even that president of that country, he wasn't even a Pakistani, he was white, and he was a CIA high-ranking officer. So later on, as this was happening back in 2004, because we were looking for Osama bin Laden, we'll find him, we were installing the president of the country that we found him there 2 administrations later. So it's all left up, dude. It's all left up.
No, it is. I'm gonna let you finish out this video, and then I've got to get
hold
going.
on, one second. You took away the comment, but I want to say, Dargesh, had you watched this show from the start, you would have heard that hours and hours and hours ago.
That is true.
Just saying.
That is true. No, you would have gotten basically as soon as it happened. You would have gotten the breaking.
Seconds
but that's okay.
after it happened.
That's all right. No, that's
I
cool.
don't know what
People got things going on. People got things going on in their lives. I understand. I totally get it.
Also, when this video is done, I've got a pressing one straight from the Oval Office.
Well, all right.
30 seconds, 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, no worries, no rush. But
I'm gonna let you finish this out, and then Peter, you can play yours, and then I've got to finish the show because I got work to get to.
All right, let's go.
Repress the Iranian people's vote for freedom.
Yeah.
President Barack Obama took a different approach, making an agreement with Iran along with other world powers to limit Iran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. A deal President Donald Trump ripped up in his first term, also launching a strike in Iraq to kill Qasem Soleimani, the leader of Iran's Quds Force. Now in his second term, launching military strikes for a second time, openly calling for regime change, a new and deadly chapter in a long history of U.S. involvement in Iran. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Don't miss out.
That was just propaganda. It was just propaganda.
Just a bunch of propagandas, all that is. Al Jazeera. I like to call it Al Jazeera because that's all it really is. No. Thank you for showing that, Achilles. I appreciate that because the
Okay, take
context.
the screen.
Wait.
Take the screen off.
Wait,
So
I can come across as abrasive?
You can come
I
across
am
as
abrasive.
occasionally.
I am abrasive.
On occasion.
That's my middle name. That's my middle name.
Sorry, the freaking Restream user interface is being really cooperative today.
As always.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's a good platform. I love it. It's a great platform.
It's the greatest.
I know platforms, folks.
Yeah, it's the bestest of the best.
Oh, we got even my freaking main. Look at it. Even my loading. It's just loading now. It's just spiraling, kind of like this show right now. The viewers, they're going down. They're going into the toilet. Peter, would you like to show the thing that you wanted to show?
Yeah, you have to put me on screen.
All right.
Remember that the Bible describes the earth as a flat disk covered by a giant crystal dome with windows in it.
My
So
uncle, because I do believe in the
Please.
racehorse theory, right?
Please, please.
Slow horses
Shut
don't
up.
produce fast horses, right?
Stop playing. Please stop that. You're messing up my recording. The article they printed out for the class was called Physical Constraints of the Noachian Deluge, submitted to the Journal of...
I even had an uncle. If you believe in genes, some do, some don't.
Shut up. The article they printed out for the class was called...
My uncle was one of the top people at MIT.
That was a very old video.
It's pretty funny. Guys, thank you so much.
175. 175.
175. Nice round number,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it. I think that's a nice, satisfying one to be at the very end of the show. And with that being said,
thank you for hosting the show. I would like you, Aiden, to go check out the latest stream we did on PGs.
I'll watch that for sure.
We went a little bit back and forth on what it was. If you want to call yourself a Christian, you should at least abide by some commandments, not just ignore them like they were metaphorical, like love your neighbor as yourself. The reason I bring this up is because with this stream that we did here, I want you to know that we found a clip and we put it inside a poem that Krista wrote about some hypocrisy of Christians.
The title is Look Up, It's Happening. That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody goes to a child in Gaza. The child is maybe 7 years old. And the guy, the TikToker, goes to him and says, "What do you wish for?" And the child says, "I want to die." And he says, "Why do you want to die?" "Because I don't have food. I don't have a house. I don't have water. I'd rather be dead." And that was from a 7-year-old kid. And I don't know, man, for me, it just blows not my mind, my heart. It just blows it to pieces, like it was a nerve strike in my heart.
Well, I mean, you have empathy for these sorts of things. And...
Disconnected. Okay. So that was my concluding statement.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity. This was a great show. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
Peter.
Get Peter out of it. Get him out of my bed.
I gotta get him out before he gets to 200, folks. I got him out. I got him out just in time. Oh, talk about the last second. Holy smokes. I feel like I just diffused a bomb.
Yeah. Red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, blue.
Oh, beep, 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 beep. Oh, I sniffed the sleeping. Okay. It's basically how it went.
Yeah.
No, Achilles, Peter, thank you both. Thank you for being here. Your guys' presence on the show.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Hey, I'll always be around to put up with you guys. Don't worry about that. And with that being said, you guys take care. And I will probably have a show this Sunday coming up. Probably around the same time. Oh, are you busy Sunday, Achilles?
No, I just thought to myself, what are we going to see until Sunday? How many things we're going to see in this
I
world?
know. Go to Natalia Reagan's channel and watch her show with John Fugelsang. And honestly, Achilles, if you would do that, and then tell me what you think.
Is that the
love to hear what you?
Is that the female Claude? The mustache? Okay.
Yes.
I could check it out.
She interviewed John Fugelsang, who wrote a book, The Separation of Church and Hate.
I'm definitely gonna enjoy.
He is a Christian, by the way.
I will enjoy that more than watching Christians today play video games and stream video games while people are dying around them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
I thought he had some great points, so I would really like your input on that.
Yep, I will.
You got Dargesh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Achilles. Please go ahead.
No, I think I'll probably agree because I don't know. Peter maybe doesn't follow what has been happening lately, like to me, concerning this hypocritical corner of the internet that we found ourselves in. I'm more pissed off with Christians than I am with atheists, because at least atheists don't pretend to believe in something. But Christians today, they say, I believe in that, therefore I'm saved, and you can get your house bombed because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they're giving, by doing that, they're giving you guys the wrong impression of what Christianity is about. So,
in all fairness, Achilles, with the change that happened, you've earned my respect.
And
same things goes for Stephen, by the way, which I didn't think would happen, but
you're telling me.
Yeah.
You're telling me. It's, you know what though? I'm grateful that even though we're living in really shitty circumstances right now, there are people in this community that not only were capable of seeing things for what they were, but were capable of putting some of our other differences aside, if only to call out the horrible things that we're seeing around us right now. So with that being said, guys, Dargesh says, freeze Peach. I'm putting you and Peter backstage right now, Achilles, but you two, thank you very much for being here. Your presence was greatly appreciated. Thank you, everybody in the side chat that joined as well. Big Bad Mama, Dargesh, Phantom, BS, let's see, Clad Bez, Jamie Russell, CME, Odine. Let's see. We got Odine. We have got Da Freak. We've got Spooky Bed Hair. Achilles also showed up in the chat. Re-Examination hung out for a while on the stream as well. Robin Webster. Thank you very much to each and every single one of you guys today that showed up today in chat. All of you are much appreciated members of this community. Oh, Soot Kettle. Soot Kettle is also here near the beginning of the stream. We can't forget Soot Kettle and Pixie Storms. See? People stop by, and I can't forget them at the very end of the show. That's just doing a disservice. So anyways, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here for this stream, and have a good one.